Circuit de la Sarthe in France, one of the most famous venues in all of motor racing, and tonight it decides a World GT champion. Hello everybody, welcome to Apex Racing TV for the Race of World GT Championship, the final round of the season from the Le Mans circuit, of course, in France. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. And Adam, we come to this track, I know you enjoy this one, and we've got an hour and a half's race tonight. It's a slightly different format than what we're used to in this series, but well, we're going to get a champion at the end of the evening. Yeah, and a slightly different format with points as well. We'll run you through that as the race progresses. But yeah, good to be back here at Le Mans. Of course, the scene of one of our famous exploits as a trio in the car in the Le Mans 24 Hours. That sort of went okay. We managed to get to the end, but we'll see how many of these drivers are going to be getting to the end of this 1 hour and a half endurance race to conclude the World GT Championship. And Nico Foggy has got it all to lose as we go into this one. Yeah, 89 points clear at the start of tonight's action, and ahead of David Baker, and then Baker's another 126 points ahead of Diogo Melro. And Alex Simpson, you know, we drove here together in the Le Mans 24 Hours on iRacing, and challenging circuit. We drove in the Ferrari as well. That is now on pole position, showing that it has excellent top-end speed around this track.
Yep, hello everybody. Yeah, what a fantastic Le Mans we had, you know, ups and downs and highs and lows, but most of all just a lot of fun. Yeah, we were in the Ferrari and the GTE, and it's good to see the Ferrari doing well here, because it's been sort of lagging behind, hasn't it, for best part of the season, so it's just showing that it has got it where it counts at Le Mans.
Well, at least in the hands of Christian Rose, Adam, who half a second quicker than anybody else. In fact, anybody else being David Baker, of course, that's second in the championship. Baker 8/10 quicker of Nico Foggy. He has to, well, he has to really hope for misfortune from the Scotsman, but Foggy just has to hope for a solid finish inside the top 10, and I think he should have it.
And we were talking before we went on air that they do have a fast repair in this series, so if something was to go wrong for Foggy, even with that fast repair, he probably still has a chance of staying inside the top 5. So it's going to have to take something special from Baker and something to go horrifically wrong for Nico Foggy. But we've seen in all the 24-hour races in real life over the past few years that anything does happen. Some cars and some drivers look like they've got the race in the palm of their hand at some points, and then it all seems to just go away. Look at Toyota this in 2017. So we'll see if any misfortune befalls Nico Foggy. Hopefully we don't wish that on him, but we'll see what happens.
No, we don't wish anything bad on him, but it could make it quite exciting if it does happen. Looking at the order as well, and speaking of misfortune, speaking of things going wrong, Alex, unfortunately, some people have to drive the BMW around here, and that misfortune falls to Paul Smith and Josh Thompson. And I'm not sure I'd wish that on my worst enemy, because at the minute they're losing 5 seconds around here.
Yeah, no, me neither. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Just so slow in a straight line, and yeah, that's what's absolutely killing them, really. It's all about the top speed here at Le Mans.
We've seen the BMW be very strong, Alex, in the past, especially in the corners, the tight confines of places like Mid-Ohio and some of the other circuits we've been to this season, but it really is just an uphill battle. They're losing nearly 15 kilometres an hour to the Ferraris and the McLarens.
Yeah, it's just too much to sort of cater for, or get back through, you know, the chicanes on the Mulsanne, and then sort of the Porsche curves. It's just not going to gain enough time there. So yeah, it's I mean, it will be slightly better when they're in the draft in the race, of course, but they're not really going to be able to overtake anybody. They're still going to lose speed, I think, lose time on the straights.
And as the field lines up behind the safety car, Adam, at the entry to the Porsche curves, drivers will be wondering exactly how their race is going to go. We're going to get a flyover, no doubt, from the French Air Force at some point, but it's one of those tracks where, you know, the BMW drivers, for instance, you know, it's going to be a long one. Their car is good over the race distance, so maybe they can make up some places there, but there's no substitute for raw speed, and unfortunately for guys at the front, that's what they seem to have around here.
Yeah, they're going to have a tough one, I think, the BMW drivers today. Obviously, I think as those of us that have driven the BMW will know, it's probably one of the easiest cars to drive out of all the cars sitting here on the grid. So that should help them in that respect. They have got an hour and a half, and It always is a race of attrition around here, so that could work in their favour. So we'll see where Paul Smith and Josh Thompson end up by the end of the race. Josh Thompson's always famous for being a fast driver in any car that he drives, so I don't think he's going to be staying in that 29th place for long as we get going soon.
Stuart McFadden's had a disconnection, incidentally, from 5th on the grid, so he'll be scrambling to try and make it back in time before the safety car peels away. He's probably got another 20-30 seconds before that happens and before he misses the start. But Audi looking decent out there with Chris Wood, and like we mentioned, McLaren, Ferrari as well. And one of the Ferrari teams, Alex, in their last race under the current name, Limit Squad, it's a name that they've used for quite some time, and they'll be changing their name for the next season of World GT.
Yeah, shame to see the name go. It's been around for a while, and those guys have been in there. But yeah, there'll be no better place to really have a send-off, is there, Le Mans?
No, indeed. Will it be Le Mans squad? Will they be the ones who are at the top of the podium? Adam, if you can quickly take us through at least some of the starting grid as the drivers get underway.
Yeah, before the flyover deafens us all, Christian Rose starts on the board. Dave Baker starting in 2nd place. Doing everything he can to try and take the championship away from Nico Foggy, but Foggy starts in 3rd, so he's keeping Baker at arm's length. There's Jake Blackhall starting in 4th. Stuart McFadden hopefully starting in 5th, but I don't think he will because he hasn't taken to the grid. No, he hasn't. So at best, he's starting from the pit lane. Chaz Draycott starting in 6th place in his final race meeting for Limit Squad. Then Chris Wood in 7th, Johan Kaiser in 8th, then Ross McFarlane in 9th, and Dion Phillips running at the top 10. Pete Harrow starting in 11th, Jack Stiles in 12th, Stephen Dawson in 13th, with Art Delman in 14th, Michael Hall in 15th, then Ashley Blake Hood starting in 16th place, Tom Jacobs 17th, 18th for David White, and then Paul Smith starting in 19th in the BMW. Dennis Melcher starting in 20th place. Then in 21st place it is going to be Josh Rayfield, Scott Malcolm 22nd, 23rd Pete Newman, 24th Lee Woodburn, John Roberts starting in 25th, then Matt Keeber, Kieran Rush, Robert Lundgren, and the cars didn't set times. 29th Josh Thompson, Maciek Sakovic in 30th, then Carl 007 Andy Scheel in 31st, Matt Bunn in 32nd, Dave Crozier in 33rd, and then starting at the back of the grid in 34th it is going to be Gavin Wakefield.
Very much, Adam. Ready for the start. There's always anticipation building when the cars begin the race here at Le Mans. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. We will explain the points as we go on. It's the French Air Force. Give the salute as they pass. Now the passing is going to be on the track. Christian Rose gets ready to lead us through the Ford chicane and through the Virage de Recordment. And here we go. He hits the curb hard. He puts the power down in the Ferrari 488 and he's away across the line. Green flag is in the air for the finale of the World GT Championship on Apex Racing TV. Rose leads, Baker second, Foggy under pressure from Blackhall and Chaz Draycott. Great start, great qualifying for Draycott. We don't normally see him up in the top 5, Adam, but a good start to the meeting for him if we're looking to make that continue.
Yeah, already at one position as a result of Stuart McFadden not starting. Too wide going through the Dunlop S's under the bridge. That's Pete Harrod versus Ross McFarlane. McLaren versus Mercedes. And it is the McLaren that comes out on top. Very good start from Pete Harrod at 3 positions as well as we go towards Tetra Rouge.
Yeah, how McLaren would love to pass Mercedes when Formula 1 resumes in 2 months' time as Harrod through Tetra Rouge then. And for the first time, we're going to see the respective power of the manufacturers down the long Mulsanne straight. Of course, Alex's straight used to be split into, it used to be one long straight, now it's split into 3 sections.
Yeah, crazy to think when it was just the one, wasn't it? So look at this, the 3 manufacturers there down the back straight. That is Ross McFarlane, Jack Stiles in there as
going
well.
Through, look at that.
Ferrari speed.
What a move
so
by
fast.
Stiles, if he can he keep it? Jack Stiles, he can't. Thought he had that done, he just couldn't get that complete overlap, Alex, that he needed. Oh,
in the
background, big one. I think it's Rayfield.
Newman.
No, Tom Jacobs.
No, it's Jacobs. Jacobs, I think Rayfield might have been involved.
Well, one Limit Squad car was flying, and the other one has flew over.
It's Josh Rayfield's last race for Limit Squad. Jacobs was on the outside against Michael Hall, and then he...
Rayfield got a bit of it, you know, yeah. Fortunately,
he gets hit by
escapes.
an Audi, and over he goes, Jacobs.
Three
And
cars,
the boosted car of Roberts is destroyed.
3 cars out. Of course, they will get fast repairs. Tom Jacobs, Pete Newman and Dave Crozier all having to return to the pits. They'll have about a 2-minute tow, and then they'll get a new car and they'll be on their way.
So they may stay on the lead lap, but it will be an uphill battle from there. Christian Rose then. Now there'll be no breaking away, Alex, at this part of the circuit through towards Indianapolis. You will not be able to get clear. You do need some kind of a gap, and you'll make that through the Porsche curves, and you'll make that through the first sector potentially as well.
Yeah, I mean, sorry.
I was just going to say, contact at Mulsanne. Jack Stiles turned around. He's dropped way down the order.
Yeah, and they were fighting it amongst themselves as well, further up the field. Bart Dellman in the Mercedes and Stephen Dawson in the Ferrari.
Kaiser as well back there. One of the Team Mad Mercedes got tagged at the very start as well. I just saw that on the replay of the start, and yeah, I'm not sure who that was, but it affected him. Baker maybe for the lead, just showing the McLaren's got the pace, and Foggy is still there as well, just wheeling these guys back in.
No Jason Rowe for Team Mad as well. He's ill, so best wishes to Jason, but he's not able to race tonight in the final one.
This is what we've got in the first 3 quarters of a lap. Hopefully we get it for the entire duration of this race. These 3 drivers fighting it out, all different manufacturers, Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes. 3 of the most famous teams in Formula 1 pretty much racing here. We just need a Renault and a Williams or so, and then we've got the lot.
Yeah. And the GT car's given us some fantastic action all season. A quick rundown of point standings to this point. Foggy ahead of Baker, then it's Melrose, and then just to fill in the rest of the top 10, Ross McFarlane in 4th place, Christian Rose 5th, Pete Harrod 6th, Jeroen Kaiser 7th, Chris Wood 8th, Bart Dowman in 9th, and Richard Kifenko in 10th. 2
slowdowns at the end of the first lap, one for Jake Blackwell, one for Chaz Draycott, both from Ferraris. It wasn't too much of an issue for Draycott. He just lost 1 place, but for Draycott he lost quite a few, so he's now down to back down to 10th, 4 positions lower than where he started.
Slowdowns can kill you. Remember, you got one on the second lap or third lap or something, didn't you? And it's a track for that where it loses you a heck of a lot of places.
Oh, just going past Daleman. Sorry, White trying to capitalise on it as well. Audi versus Mercedes.
Oh, White going right round. Daleman, yes. We're there by David White. And then Paul Smith having a go. This is when, look at the BMWs swarming the Mercedes here. Josh Thompson trying to go through. Enjoy being ahead of the Mercedes while you can, I think, boys. But here comes the Ford GT of Dennis Melcher as well. Smith's having a go at Thompson. This is going to break down because they're all going to come together as the Mercedes and the Ferrari find their feet down the long straight, Adam.
Jack Stiles coming along in the Ferrari as well. He picked up a hell of a lot of speed. Thompson sensibly gets out of that, but Jack Stiles fancies all of them here as he go into the Forza chicane.
So Stiles make a big move earlier on into this very corner. He couldn't hold it that time. This time he does hold it. Takes the apex, and look at that. Voila, move done. Job completed, at least for now, as Paul Smith goes on the attack on the Ford. Great job by our colleague at Apex Racing TV, Paul Smith.
What did we say about Josh Thompson
as well? Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, I was just saying Josh Thompson making up 11 places. He wasn't going to stay there for long. Sakovic 11 places as well.
Smith having to duck back into the slipstream and get a second bite of slipstream, Alex, as he pulled out of the slipstream because he had the momentum, and then just the BMW cannot live, even with the Ford GT and its steam-powered engine.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's like, isn't it? So crazy. I really hope they do tweak something with that, because it'd be nice to see this, you know, these cars mixed up. I mean, people are commenting about it in the chat now. You know, it's nice to see a variety of cars out there, and you know, I know they are racing all like, oh well, we wanted to be true to life. Was like, bollocks to true to life. let's have you know 5 cars that can race each other on there. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, you look at some places, you know, you look at the GT3s in reality, and it's about 12 of them that are competitive.
Yeah.
So we want that. We want the BMW. We want the cars to have strengths and weaknesses, of course, but the BMW just all season has been absolutely kiboshed by its straight line speed, and I sense that something's gone off.
Yeah, someone's gone off. It was Jake Blackwell going into Indianapolis. Obviously, it did saved the car a lot better than I did in the 24 hours, but it has allowed Jake Blackwell through into fourth. Sorry, Dion Phillips going wide at Indianapolis. Yeah, Phillips down to fifth.
Still can't get over the fact that they couldn't fix our rear wing in 24 hours, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah, I could have got out and unbolted it and bolted a new
given
one
it
on.
a bash with a hammer or something. We could have got the straight line speed back, but alas, didn't come to fruition for us. It is coming to fruition for Christian Rose, and this is the first time where there is some kind of tangible space between he and David Baker, Adam, because it was 0.8 of a second, and the Ferrari, we know that it can stretch its legs down the straight if it's just gets out of that slipstream.
Swings and roundabouts, we'll see what it's like when we start lap 3. Only 2 laps about to be completed. A wobble there by Baker, just a little wobble. 2 cars are out of the race. Jerome Kaiser and Scott Malcolm are tumbling down the order.
Kaiser's still on the track, but not looking good.
Malcolm's
a replay, see what happens.
Kaiser doesn't look like he's... Oh, no, he does.
Malcolm, isolated incident. He's done it all on his own. I'm just...
Separate one, was it?
I wanted to know what happened to Scott Malcolm, because they were together on the timing sheet.
Kaiser already had some damage on the front of his car there, so I think it's just finally bit him.
Malcolm, oh dear, that must be a black screen. That must be a black screen. He literally just went straight on. And Scott Malcolm, I don't know if we got a replay, Alex, but
I couldn't get Malcolm, unfortunately, but I did see what happened to Kaiser.
Yeah, and that makes a few more cars that have now had to make their visit to the pits to get their fast repair. Robert Lundgren, the latest, coming in to the pits end. Lap 3, Dion Phillips versus Jake Blackwell. It looks like Phillips was in 5th place for a little while, but he doesn't want to be there for long, and Alex E just swoops past back into 4th place as there's 2 wide behind.
It's unusual to see the Macca being outpaced, but yeah, it is here showing really where the strengths are on the Ferrari. So unfortunately, they wish every race could have been at Le Mans, but alas, it wasn't.
You did the Blancpain GT series. Did that ever come here?
No, but I think it is on the schedule for next season.
Not a 24-hour race, just like a 6-hour one, or?
Yeah, I think it's something like a 6. I'm not 100% sure on that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. Maybe there's a Blancpain driver in the chat. Yeah, and he can confirm if he knows as well. But yeah, I can't remember. I did look at the schedule a month or so ago, but I can't remember.
Yeah, too many broadcasts. That doesn't help. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts as well. We are on Facebook Live as well tonight, so give it a share, give it a like, or tag someone in it that may be interested. And thanks for joining us. This is the World GT Championship, the final race of the season. Here on Apex Racing TV, Adam Bath, Andrew Woodhouse, Alex Simpson along with you for the ride here, and a battle going on between Pete Harrods, Chris Wood, and Ross McFarlane for 6th, 7th, and 8th. McLaren of Chris Wood towing along the Audi of Wood, and then McFarlane, Chaz Dracos, and Ashley Blake Could, who may have one of the best paint schemes of the race, with the "Please hit here" on the back of that Mercedes.
To let you know, Scott Malcolm has rejoined the circuit as well after his issues. Tom Jacobs likewise has taken his fast repair. Matt Keeber, I think, has as well, and John Roberts back out there for Mercedes as well.
Yeah, so we've got 28 cars still running at the moment. A few didn't take the start. Wakefield, Bunn, Shield, McFadden, and 2 are out of the race. Pete Newman and Dave Crozier. It looks like he's had to, after his fast tow, has had to come back into the bits again. So not a good hour and a half for him at the moment.
No, it's not. It's not what you want, is it really, after bad start to the race? Yeah, another incident. Dropping down the order, Adam. We have to get that one in at least once every race. Pete Harrods in 6th position now. 5 phases gain, and yeah, we've just been looking at that battle. It's still pretty much nose to tail in the top 3, but Christian Rose still seems to have that 0.6 of a second buffer. look at this battle is shaping up to be fantastic, isn't it? And it looks like, Alex, they're just catching those two in front, Blackhall and Phillips. So, but they have closed in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, the gap looks like it's 1.7 seconds, so another few tenths, and they're going to be able to get the slipstream as well, and that's going to make all the difference. Close it back up. It'll be good to see a nice little gaggle in this race, having trying to battle it out. Paul Smith,
I'd say that's almost
standing
a gaggle.
still. What's gone on?
Oh,
Off
it's
the wall.
Well, Paul in the BMW. This is at the forward chicane.
Paul in the wall, slowing to a crawl.
Oh, the chicane to record meant. Oh, he hit the curb. And the BMW really didn't take a liking to that.
He's also he's also undamaged though.
Yeah, he just had a pretty harmless tap with the tyre barrier, and the BMW back going again in 21st place. Only 2 positions lost from his starting position now.
You know what? That's not the worst, is it? And it's just time. But now he's with Kieran Roach, who's no slouch out there. So I wonder if he can tag onto the back of the Mercedes and just get himself up the order. I mean, he's lost about 10 seconds.
Wasn't too much at all. Just behind Kieran Roche. Behind Kieran Roche with the Tenant's livery. Happy Burns night that's coming up soon for all the Scots out there. I had it a bit prematurely. I had some
Dunno.
haggis and some Tenants as well.
Oh, there you go. We'll see what the haggis like. Anyway, I've only had it. I think I briefly had it once. I think it was fairly decent, but
pretty good.
Yeah,
worth having. I think.
Get some more. I think as
Baker fancies the lead and he's got it.
Oh wow. Well, I was just saying, wasn't I, that...
Took the words out of your mouth in another food.
Burn. Well, it'll be burned night because the McLaren just spews fire out of the back of it like an overactive volcano. And Christian Rose, well, now he's the one who's got to try and climb the mountain again and get to the lead of this race, which looked like it was Alex fairly comfortable a couple of laps ago, but we know that couple of laps at Le Mans, I mean, it's 27 kilometres of racing, which is, you know, a heck of a lot, really.
Yeah, what we haven't really done was jump onto Baker to see if he was saving any fuel or anything like that. So might have just been sat down the straight, just conserving, you know, all this time. So,
but look at
all
this
of a
now.
sudden, Foggy on the run on Rose as well. So don't know what's going on with Rose.
Oh, he's lifting, Foggy. I think it's just a big slipstream that he had. I think though for Nico Foggy, championship leader, and really, Foggy, Adam, he's in a position where he doesn't have to attack tonight. He can just stay here really.
Yeah.
Third. I know it's boring, but that'd be boring to win a title. That'd be exciting and be second. And Nico Foggy far from boring, I must say.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wins this season, Nico Foggy, and I'm sure he'd like to get this one as well. But nothing wrong with staying in third at the moment. Baker is within shots. We have lost another BMW. This time it has towed back to the pits. You can guess who it is. It's Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson, who was running in 16th place, he isn't anymore. He's towed and he's out of the session. So
I wasn't sure if I could guess who it was since Paul just went off. I was thinking it could have been. Well, we had a 50-50 guess, didn't we, on that one? And poor Josh, yeah, it looks like he's had enough as well, mate. He's left the session, so just Thompson's season over with, and it ends with him being in. Well, in fact, he was a late arrival to the championship. He's going to finish outside the top 40 positions, so that's not great for Thompson. Not really gone well for him since jumping into the BMW a couple of weeks ago. But having said that, I think he'll be back next time, I would imagine. He drives a lot of things, does Josh, so can't see him staying away from too long for GT action. Look at this into the Ford chicane. Chaz Draycott versus Chris Wood, and I think Draycott's just made the place. He's just taken it. Oh, and Blake Hood spins.
Yeah, Blake Hood was in 10th place, spins on the exit of the final chicane. That's Dawson through, and now here comes the Ferrari of McFarlane to try and get past. Of Draycott to try and get past McFarlane going through the first corner.
Great recovery from Draycott, and he's going to go around the outside of one. Can he get the second one? No. But staying ahead of Chris Wood, actually. That wasn't going around the outside. Wood had got back up to him. Good to see the Audi looking feisty out there.
Yeah, Ferrari versus Audi, two of the hallmarks of the Le Mans 24 Hours. Of course, aren't here in the prototype form anymore.
Draycott of Limit Squad, of course. Here
comes Rose.
Thrust Vector. Rose for the lead. And yes, he's taken it. So Christian Rose using the power of the Ferrari to and like in Formula One, Adam, it seems like a very strong engine inside the Maranello machine.
Well, it's looking mighty, isn't it? Well, it looked like it was slightly wounded for the last lap or two, but he's regained the composure or whatever it was, and now the Ferrari back in front as Jack Styles now fancies his chance to gain past Ashley Blake Could, and he's done so going into the first chicane. So Styles continues to work his way back up through the field after that contact at Mulsanne on the opening lap.
Styles making a decent recovery after having a pretty eventful start to the event, but you can see that.
Oh, McFarlane on Draycott as well.
And he comes then. Mercedes into the second chicane then. Very late on the brakes, just about makes it. Blocks off the right-hand apex. He's on his way, but I fear, Adam, it might not be enough because the Ferrari's right there under the diffuser of the Mercedes.
Looking close.
How much power has the Mercedes got? We know it's got the traction, but the Ferrari just seems to pull a little bit more top-end speed. And he's clear of him going in to Mulsanne corner. And Alex, that's a great illustration there. The Mercedes got decent traction off the corner, but as the straight got longer, the Ferrari got quicker.
Yeah, exactly. Just goes to show it's raw pace there. So Farland's going to struggle, I think. He's always, every time he has a move, Draycott's almost going to be able to come straight back at him.
Unless he gets him, maybe here, and he can use Indianapolis to kind of break away a little bit. But it's still the long straight going into the Porsche curves, Adam, he's got to contend with, although he makes a mistake. Does Draycott. Comes a little bit wide. Brings some gravel and some dirt back onto the racing surface.
Draycott late on the brakes going into Arnage, but now it's going to be the cutback by the Mercedes. Of course, the Ferrari, the newer of the two cars. The SLS GT3's been out for a good 6 years now, while the 488 made its debut in 2016.
It's the wrong car. It's the different GT3. It's not the SLS anymore.
Is it not? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry.
It's the
sorry.
Yeah. We can edit that bit out on all our live channels. But no, it's not the SLS, but it is a £100,000 car is the road going version of that as well. So rivaling the Ferraris, well, at least certain Ferraris price tags, but proving that it's good value for money on the circuit, Adam.
Oh yeah, you want that. Every £1,000 is worth an extra kilometres per hour, and it's looking like it's a slightly bit worth it there. Going into the chicane again.
Well, no need for Chris Wood to engage the Audi R8 snow mode on the iRacing service. You never know, maybe one day. This is where a little bit of rain would make it interesting for the drivers, Alex, you would think?
Oh yeah, definitely. Imagine having to deal with a tyre strategy and things like that there. Half the track's wet, half's dry.
Could well be the case, you know. It's such a long circuit, Le Mans. I don't mean long in length, but long in the actual area that the track takes up. It's fairly narrow, but just the length of the Mulsanne Straight means that it covers quite some area, and it's a bit like Spa in that respect, Adam.
It is, yeah, because you cover quite a lot of space. Obviously, the geography people out there will. This is where we go.
Sorry, guys, for second place, Foggy making a move on Baker, and I think that's because Baker's lost the toe to Rose this lap as well. So Foggy knows he needs to go now, otherwise he's going to lose it completely as well.
And Baker does not want the championship leader to be now in front of him. Doesn't help him whatsoever, does it?
No, not at all.
There you go, one word answer, perfect. But it is exactly what. There'll be another one word being uttered in David Baker's cockpit, and it won't be no. I mean, it might be no, but it will probably be something else.
Maybe preceding the no.
Yes.
Going into the second
chicane. Words, starting with "for goodness sake." But they call Foggy having a really good outing again. He just shows such consistency in the Mercedes. You know what? Look at it's 20 seconds start again. He's 20 seconds ahead of the nearest Mercedes driver, even, Alex. It's just,
Yeah, he's flying.
you know, not even in this car that's clearly not the best car around here. Can they keep up with it?
Needs to get a good couple of corners in right now. He is in danger of losing this draft.
Going to be him and Baker for the rest of the race if that's the case.
Yeah, that was better, I have to say. But still, the Ferrari is quicker on the straights at this point, so it's just stretching its legs now.
And the McLaren's
just too far back.
McLaren's pulling nicely as well down here, isn't it? Oh, crash! Lundgren in the wall on that back straight.
That's the boosted Mercedes.
And in fact, it's just sat there, isn't it?
Yeah, so, he's been sat there for a while.
That's not a great. Well, no, he's out of the way, isn't he? So,
out of the way. As long as no one gets forced onto the grass there, then they're all good. As Ross McFarlane gets past Chaz Draycott, or just defends from Chaz Draycott for 6th place.
It's not the. It's all a bit.
We don't want a Mike Rockenfeller incident on our hands.
It's all a bit of bad luck for Robert Lundgren, isn't it? It seems like every time we see him out there on Apex Racing TV, something bad seems to happen to him, but it's usually not his fault. I don't know if he's just had to park it there or whether he's crashed. I really don't know. It's an unusual way to park it.
McLaren have got a recently good history at Le Mans. They had the F1 GTR. I think they won their class in 1995.
Yeah, we're talking 20 years ago, but it feels recent, doesn't it, in terms of the
what freeze for Robert Lundgren. Just seen it on the chat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What a great car the McLaren GT, the McLaren F1 was. Believable, and it did have a good run here. Some great cars that sort of, as Baker's coming a look on foggy, but almost needs to do more than that. Yeah, that was a great era of motor racing actually at Le Mans, Adam, in the late 90s. With all the manufacturers here, you know, Porsche were here, and Mercedes with the CLK, and Panos, and Toyota, BMW, I think were even here, weren't they?
Yeah, and then going into the early noughties, you had the Bentley go out and win that class. Stephen Dawson into the pits. He was running in just outside the top 10, but he's now decided to come in and make his pit stop. Whether that is scheduled or not, we'll wait and see. Might be a good opportunity to tell you about how the points will be working today. So at the at the halfway point, which will be 45 minutes into this one, the points will be awarded to every driver in the position that they are in, and then at the end of the race, double points will be awarded.
There you go. I'm just looking into it actually a little bit further. You had the Porsche 911 GT1. You had the Mercedes CLK GTR. You had the Toyota GT1, which was made famous more by Gran Turismo, I think, than by the. Alex, you must have driven one of those in Gran Turismo back in the day.
Yeah, sure did.
Nissan was it Nissan as well? I remember the model number. There was a Tom Walkinshaw run. That was a Tom Walkinshaw run Nissan. And you've got the Toyota, the Panos, the McLaren F1 was there. And it's just a crazy time for sports car racing. That was before the prototypes that we know now, which was in around that time with Bentley and Audi and all those. In fact, the Toyota, you can argue that the Toyota was the spiritual.
Oh, no.
Go on.
Spin. Jake Blackhall again. This time at the Michelin chicane.
About 5th place.
Yeah, it was running in 5th, but he's dropped down the order now to 9th.
Draycott, McFarlane and Wood are still going. Draycott blinking slightly, but Wood trying to take advantage of the Ferrari down the straight, and the Audi does have the pace. It has the late braking ability in the hands of Chris Wood. Gets very wide on the exit, a bit sideways, but beautifully done by Wood to take Draycott there. Fantastic stuff. Just to finish the point, I think the Toyota GT1, probably the spiritual ancestor to the cars that we have now in LMP1. Here comes Chaz Draycott. It's not P1 for them, but it's Definitely a fantastic battle in the first half of this race here at Le Mans. Finale of the World GT Championship here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Alex Simpson bringing you all the action from just one race in like 1 hour and 30 minutes. And Alex, the first 30 minutes has been pretty memorable. What are we going to get in the second hour, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think a good race. I think it's going to be between Foggy and Baker, and Rose is starting to check out just a little bit now. 2.5 seconds up the road, and looking very, very strong indeed.
Just to mention, actually, Adam, we don't have Diogo Melro this evening. But if Jamie Fluke's watching, I do apologise. He'll be a disappointed man. But yeah, no Melro, so he can't improve on what is currently third in the championship. And whether it stays that way or not, well, that's quite unlikely, because he was only 6 points ahead of Ross McFarlane, so that's Ross McFarlane gets to half distance, he's pretty much not going to get anything.
Yeah, it's Melro. Well, it was Melro. He's not here tonight, and yeah, Ross McFarlane should gain that third place in the championship, the bronze medal. I don't know if there's a prize for third place for the drivers, but
Rose is gone, by the way.
Happy with that. Christian Rose, yeah, has bolted 2.9 seconds.
That lap, he gained 1 second, and they weren't even really fighting that much, Foggy and Baker, and just the superior pace, the Ferrari looking excellent. I have to say, Alex, from our exploits in the 24 Hours of Le Mans earlier on in 2017, the Ferrari, just as the run went on, seemed to just get better and better.
Yeah, you're right, it did. And
it's essentially the same car, isn't it, with a few tweaks?
Pretty much. Oh, black all around again.
Oh, no.
And into the pits, so not good at all.
Yeah.
And going to sleep, I think.
But
black all, I don't know. That's probably what it is.
Just to touch back on the Ferrari as well. I think, well, actually, I'm guessing Rose had a slowdown there, because all of a sudden the guys have closed back in on him. But Rose is actually phenomenal in that last sort of sector. That's where he's gaining most of his time, which quite surprises me. It's not just down the straights, but there as well. So,
but it's a good combination. You remember how good the Ferrari was in the Porsche curves.
It was, and
here comes the McLaren. On. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it's going to be basically the same, like you say, just a tiny bit of aero, and the fact that it hasn't got ABS and traction.
Oh, that was quite comforting though. After 24 hours, the fact that it did have ABS and traction control. Admit, as Foggy uses all the real estate that he can.
We didn't have ABS, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, because it was the GTE, not the GT3.
Yeah, exactly.
The other way around. Sorry.
These are the ones that are easy to drive.
Sorry, I forgot about that. It's just it was handling so well, it might as well have not had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was beautiful.
Just to fill everyone in, our personal best in the Le Mans 24 Hours was a 3:51. Obviously, the GTE may have a different top straight line speed.
It has got more power as well. Yeah.
Sounds good GTE, to me, though. I'll take it.
Yeah, in that case, we're 5 seconds a lap quicker than Christian Rose. Yeah, different rules. But Ross McFarlane, he's trying to make sure that Charles Dreyfus still cannot get by him, and this is continuing to be a fantastic scrap as they went a little bit wide on the exit Mulsanne corner.
Yeah, who's going to rule the battle for fifth?
There's also a good battle going on for 9th right now as well, between Ashley Blake Hood and Jack Styles. Hood up the inside in Mulsanne corner, and yeah, picks up that position. I'm sure Styles is going to want to go and get back.
I believe that's Blake Hood defending from Jack Styles, Alex, because at the start of the lap, Blake Hood was 2.5 seconds ahead of the Ferrari, so I believe it's taken a bit of a turn for the worse for Blake Hood on this lap. It might be just the power of the Ferrari, you know, it might be just gaining that little bit of time. Maybe a slight mistake from Ash, but they've both gained a place with the downfall of Blackhall. What can Styles do? I think Styles' best bet might be to wait for the Mulsanne straight next time.
What everyone did when they were trying to get past us during the race.
Oh dear, I remember.
Well, it was the only logical thing. Some drivers actually did try to get past us in the Porsche curves, even when that was where we were at our quickest. But
remember, there was one driver, I was trying to get past him for ages and ages and ages. I think it was a Ford GT. And could not get through because we had that straight line speed impediment, essentially. And got past him before the Porsche curves. Had to have a bit of a dive. And then in the Porsche curves, I gained 2 seconds just in that one sector on the guy that we've been trying to get past for 10 laps or something. And so frustrating, just that tiny bit of damage that we had. In fact, oh no, he doesn't. I thought Styles might have had a tiny bit of damage on his rear wing, but looks perfectly fine at the moment.
I did mention, Alex, at the start of the lap that Baker and Foggy had closed in a little bit. Baker put in a fastest lap out of anybody on that last lap. Ashley Blake Hood, what's gone on? Ashley Blake Hood has disappeared and has exited the session.
He spun at the record meant and into the wall.
And out
He'll
of
be
the
recording
race.
a DNF.
Looks like he's had it. He's done. Michael Hall into the pits as well.
Blake Hood, done for good on that one and done for the season. Or at least if he may take the fast repair, but I don't know how much there is in it for him.
An awkward bounce for Ash. And he was on the power hard and the car hadn't settled down.
Well, we've lit the touch.
We've all had that problem, haven't we?
Lit the touch paper in the battle for 6th. Chris Wood had got by going into Tetra Rouge, but I believe he went too wide and he's picked up a slowdown. He's trying to serve it, but it's allowing Chaz Draycott back through again.
Yeah, good race from Draycott. Feisty performance. Feisty one he is.
What he really won it with being the last time in the team colours.
Yeah, you've got to get. They are changing the team for next year, but I'll let them have the glory of announcing that whenever they want to do that, and I think they have, sort of. But no doubt there'll be a trailer coming as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Chaz will probably be working feverishly away at
hopefully with copyright-free music this time. But we'll see what happens. Draycott having a really good race, so excellent job, and started 6th, benefit from Stuart McFadden's misfortune at the beginning, but he's continued to challenge the Northern Lights racing car that's been excellent all season in the form of Ross McFarlane.
Taking a trip down the field to the battle for 15th place between Lee Woodburn, Paul Smith in 16th, and Jeroen Kaiser in 17th. 3 different cars again, and looks like that damage at the Ferrari on the front of the Ferrari of Woodburn is allowing the BMW of Paul Smith to almost close in a little bit down the Mulsanne straight.
Yeah, and it's the BMW. I must admit, if there's anything that I've learned from Josh Thompson this season, is that he likes to trim the car out massively. I wonder if Paul's just taking that strategy of just making it as slippery as possible down the straight. And there is a bit of damage on the Ferrari at the front, as he said, and Smith trying to close in. Kaiser won't be shy of a move, Alex, as well. We know that he really loves a battle, does the Dutchman.
Yeah, like you say, not afraid to stick it up the inside if he needs to, is he? So Smith definitely got a good run there. Wouldn't be able to do anything with it.
Is he alongside?
He is.
Have to go back in though. Yeah, he's got to go back into the slipstream. Oh dear me! Absolute gutless wonder, isn't it? The BMW down the straights. It's lovely in the corners. It's great coming out of the slow stuff. Does not have any kind of top-end speed, I'm afraid, here. In the practice sessions, they were recording about 16 kilometres an hour slower than the Ferraris down there, so that's exactly what Paul has to work against. He's against a damaged Ferrari, Adam, and he still can't get past.
Like trying to kill someone, but not failing to kill someone when they're already wounded or something like that.
Yeah.
Paul Smith really trying his best here.
Not being able to beat a team with 10 men, isn't it?
It's like failing to beat Azenbath on UFC.
Which I may have done at one point, yeah, so never mind.
Sorry.
That might as well be fighting someone who's got his hands behind his back or something in that case.
I was just pressing buttons, really.
Well, I think Dennis Melcher is probably pressing buttons trying to get the Victorian steam engine to get that Ford GT around the Le Mans circuit a little bit quicker.
Here comes Paul.
Oh, hello, what's he doing?
He's
through, brilliant. The Yorkshireman is through. And now he's going to be able to escape, or is he? Because he's in the gravel. Oh no! Well, that was a big bounce over the final chicane, Alex. It didn't help him, and And that little gap he made up, well, he's going to have to pray for a good first sector here as Kaiser's going through as well. Here he comes.
Yeah, that's going to help him. Big time. Kaiser's
Woodburn.
9/10, 1 second back now.
Woodburn looks like he's slowing. I don't know if he's got an issue there or what, but he looks very slow at the moment. Maybe been a slow down penalty.
Maybe, yeah, may have run out a bit too wide going through the exit of the Porsche curves. That is a area where you do get a slowdown, but it looks like the damage might be starting to have an effect on the car. He's losing a lot of time.
Now Michael Hall's dropped down the order. Has he been in the pits?
He has, yes.
That brings me nicely to what I was going to say about the.
Yes.
We are expecting around the pit stops at some point soon.
Yeah, pitted about a lap ago. 50.7 seconds stop. Bit of a variety in pit stop times.
It's an early one, but it's about an hour's worth of fuel, Alex, isn't it, in these GT3s?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably why he's done it. He's just fueled it to the point where it'll get him to the hour, and he knows he can just fill it up and set a boots and go. You know,
put the highest mixture on and just keep it there. Exactly. There's a real sort of liberation to that, isn't there, when you know that you're free of the fuel restrictions and you just drive the car. Have you had any races in the iRacing World Championship where fuel's been an issue?
Yeah, I mean this season I had the fuel save for the last 8 laps at Monza because just burnt too much in the early stage and didn't realise until about 8 laps to go that we're actually a lap short of fuel. So having to lift coast for the last 8 laps and try and hold on to 4th place, I think it was at the time, or 5th.
I mean, it's one of the easier tracks to. It's one of the easier tracks to save fuel on. It's also one of the hardest tracks to defend on while you're saving fuel.
It's very true.
It's kind of the swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Do you remember that on the F1 2010 we always used to run out of Bahrain and Valencia?
Yep.
Valencia.
Automatic gearbox for the win at Valencia. That's what it was.
It was. No wonder I nearly won that race.
Yeah, no one could run high mixture, could they, unless you're on auto gears?
No, that was it.
I remember switching to auto gears just for that race. I was like, have it.
I know that on Facebook at least, I don't know if he's still there, but Dan Hawkins was in the chat on there, and he probably remembers that as well from season 1 of 2010 Apex Racing League.
Which had just started again this week, I think. Another season of AOR.
Another season. That's it. Those guys, they do a good job, don't they, at AOR, Alex? I know that they're obviously we're no longer sort of connected as a company with them, but that they've taken what they had before and they've made it even better as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on them, really.
Good bunch of lads over there. Rose leads by 3.8 seconds, and he's really starting to turn the screw. The Ferrari, one of the things that makes it so good, in my opinion, is he's very well balanced, and you don't really need to have to worry about it doing strange things. At least that was the case around this very circuit.
Yeah, I think that's what people have been saying. It's got a bit of understeer, I think, with this BOP, and that's where it's hurting. You could tell that through some of the corners, plus where McFarlane was catching back up, but
not so much of an issue here, though. I mean,
exactly, exactly what I was about to say. And just you can just get on the power with the car, and you know it's not going to bite you too much. So
the last thing you want is oversteer in the Porsche curves. We had that a couple of times, didn't we? And it wasn't a nice thing. I nearly crashed in the.
I had to bail out when that happened to me once.
Yeah, and
Chris Wood into the pits.
Ah, right, an early one for him. We saw he did a blinding strategy at one of the races, didn't he? Well, we thought it was going to be, and then in the end it just fell short by a couple of laps of being really, really good and winning the race. But
Chris Wood, one of the few Audis in the field as well today. They have had a few wins. Chris Wood won in the Audi in the opening race meeting of the season at Spa back before Christmas, and his teammate Lewis Bibby, who isn't racing here today, he got a win at Snetterton. Long way from that.
Few drivers missing actually. David Witterballs is another Audi driver that's missing. Andy Shield didn't take the start. He's another Audi.
Alex Everett in the BMW.
We've not seen him for a long time actually.
Not before the mid-season break. Richard Gafencu.
Mercedes for Gafencu. Yeah, he's not taking the race today. Draycott and McFarlane. Draycott's got through again. So, pretty good job. We need to mention Dion Phillips, Alex, as well, because he's P4. He's only 23 seconds off the lead after over 40 minutes of racing, and about 8 seconds ahead of the battle that we've been watching for a lot of the race between McFarlane and Draycott.
Yeah, he's in no man's land, really, isn't he? Sometimes, you know, can be a little bit lonely like that, but also, you know, you can just enjoy the race like that. So he'll be hoping, I think, that the front three have a little battle, and maybe one of them gets caught up in something, and he can nick a podium. Be a good way to seal the season off.
Yeah, I reckon for him.
He'll have to get caught up in something massive, because the gap is 20 seconds between Baker and Phillips.
6 positions gained for Phillips, though, from the start, as McFarlane goes again on Draycott. 20 positions gained for Maciej Sakovic. We need to focus on him. Car 8, the Mercedes. Best not say car 8, we might get in trouble. As Sakovic just behind, that is Bart Dowman, who wasn't going to drive tonight, but he decided to do it, and he's been rewarded with 11th place.
Very good job there by Sakovic, and he's going to get another place as he goes past Bart Dellman, Maciej Sakovic. So another place there for the Mercedes.
Sakovic through. Next target is 5.5 seconds up the road, and it's Jack Stiles in the Fittstein Ferrari.
Got some comments earlier about how it was great to see so many different cars, and I think every single car in the field has won a race this season. The Mercedes has won one, the McLaren, the Audi, the Ferrari, even the Ford and the BMW have all picked up wins at some point in the season. Alex Everett in the BMW was back at Interlagos, and the Ford was won by Dennis Melchert in emotional scenes at Monza.
Yeah, that was brilliant, wasn't it? I've got to say, Alex, after all Dennis has been through this season, it's
absolutely.
That's probably my favourite moment of the season, I think. That.
Yeah, it was great, and it just sort of crowned off, you know, every car winning a race, wasn't it? It was brilliant. So, and for those that are watching that just want a little bit more sort of context to that as well, the way the championship normally run, it's not just this sort of hour and a half long race. Usually they have it's like a sprint series, so, and we have reverse grids, so it really opens it up for a lot of people to get some wins, and not just the elite guys right at the front as well. You know, you can be a mid-pack runner, find yourself on the front row for second race, and guys battling behind, you can hold out and get wins. So yeah, it's a good way of doing it, actually.
I think that might be up there. I think that one might be up there with race meeting of the year in any of the series that we broadcast. The finish for race 3, probably one of the best finishes you'll ever see. As,
it was amazing. We're not going to give that one. I'm not actually going to give that one away in case anybody wants to go and watch that back. But what a great race meeting that was, and just to cap that off, I mean, and Dennis getting the win as well earlier on. I mean, just for those who don't know, he lost his father during the season, and then came out the following week or the week after, and just came out and raced, and then a couple of weeks later he took a win. So yeah, awesome determination, bravery, heart, all the words that you can use to describe someone in a positive way. That's what I'm going to throw Dennis's way. So absolutely outstanding. I'll be honest, Alex, I'm not sure I could have done what he's done.
No, I couldn't, obviously.
I probably wouldn't have even gone on the bloody PC since then, to be honest.
Yeah. Just so people asking for the link for the website for the series. Yep. If you could let them know what that is.
Yes, you go to wgtc.uk. That is wgtc.uk. I'm sure we can put that in the chat or something like that, and that is where you get all the information about the World GT Championship, possibly including sign-ups for next season.
Do it, guys. There is going to be season 3. Not entirely sure on the dates, but get it done, boys and girls. Sign up.
We are on the return leg of the race now. We are past the 45-minute mark, so I'm sure that the admins have screenshotted the order, and those positions that the drivers are in now, they will get points for where they are. So the leader, Christian Rose, he will get 60 points for leading the race, 65 I should say, for leading the race, and second Nicole Fogg will get 60, Dave Baker 55, and the rest will go down. And I don't know if they'll get updated as the race progresses, but we will let you know if they do.
You know what I've just thought as well? Those who pitted early have really shafted themselves out of some points, haven't they?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I know that it's not going to matter massively for the final standings, but someone like Chris Wood, who is in the top 10, he's just lost about probably 30 or 40 points by P.
Yeah, you needed to stay out, don't you, until at least the 45-minute mark.
Which is just what are we on now? 47-ish, 48.
Yeah, we've got 42 minutes to go.
Yeah, so yeah, those guys just jumped the gun a bit. I mean, they're not in contention for anything major, are they? But still, it's they kind of missed that a little. But going for the race win, going for good positions in the race, I suppose, does override the championship in some terms at the end of the season. So some drivers not having anything to play for. It's the equivalent of a team had maybe 13th, 14th in the Premier League table, just nothing to play for on the last day, so they just go for it. Probably lose 5-4, but that's the way it goes. Nico Foggy's in the
Stoke City Award. They could get thrown up.
Usually them, isn't it, at the end of the season who are doing that?
Yeah, Nico Foggy pits from third base. Of course, driving for Northern Lights Racing, and into the pits comes Chaz Draycott as well. So he puts his battle with Ross McFarlane on hold for now, and as also Ross McFarlane driving for the Northern Lights Racing team that are leading the team standings by 106 points over CQR Club going into this one. CQR Race up just 400 points behind them in third, and then you've got Team Mad that have picked up a few wins during the course of the season. Going into this race meeting, Nico Foggy has led the most laps this season, with Ash Sutton in second and Jake Blackwall, who we saw retiring earlier, in third place. Christian Rose, our leaders, led 19 laps this season going into this final race of the season. Of course,
had a good season.
Yeah, had a very good season, the Ferrari.
Had a good season. He was good in the Renault, and then when that finished, he moved over to the World GTs and doing what is a pretty good job.
Other drivers into the pits: Jack Stiles in, and also Jerome Kaiser in as well. And if we've got anything to benchmark the pit stop times off, Nico Foggy was in his pit box for 24.7 seconds. Draycott's in there for a lot longer than that.
I would imagine that Foggy's not taken tyres.
Okay.
You can only obviously take tyres or do fuel at one time.
Or the other,
yeah. So you can obviously have both, but the pit stop's quite long. So Chaz 42.8 seconds is not quite away yet. So that tells me he's having both. So could be a strategy call for Foggy to try and do it. Let's see if Rose is alive to that, because he really needs to be. Otherwise, he's going to get jumped. Quite a margin.
You could double stint the tyres here, no problem, in the 24-hour race.
Yeah, the tyre model has changed a little bit. They do wear out a lot quicker than when we were doing it. So
you think they might feel fine now to the drivers, maybe half an hour, well, maybe less than half an hour into the stint, the second stint on the tyres, they might get a little bit dodgy.
Very early on when the tyre model changed as well, people were actually blowing them up because they were getting punctures and things like that with them. Yeah. So the wear rate has increased a lot.
Somebody got a puncture at Snetterton, didn't they?
Yeah.
In one of our races, I can't remember. Was it Andrew Whitehead? Was it, or someone like that who got a puncture? I can't remember exactly who it was. Somebody crossed the line sideways. I know that. Maybe Gregory or someone like that. Yeah. I think Gregory not here tonight either. There's quite a few absentees actually. Gregory, Sutton,
Hackerson,
Witterballs, Lowe, Hackerson. McFadden missed the start. Shield not racing. Bunn not racing.
Still got 34, which is pretty decent.
And still 34, yeah, exactly. Well, still 30 starters.
Just to put it into to highlight the significance of it, 24.7 for Foggy in his pit box. The cars that did take tyres and fuel, like Chaz Draycott, in the pit box for over a minute, and this is to replicate what it's like in the official GT Championship, the Blancpain GT Championship, where you'll put the fuel in and get the driver change done. Obviously, we don't have that here, and then once all that's done, then you can get the tyres changed, and that's why it takes so long.
Some teams didn't even have the driver changed in the 24 hours of Daytona, but that's another story, isn't it? for another time. Probably there'll be a blog about that at some point. As oh
no!
What?
Nico Foggy's out.
Oh no!
Nico Foggy. Well, he was onto what could have been a master stroke, but we're never going to find out because he's out of the race.
And guess where he's crashed, Adam?
Where?
Exactly where you did.
Oh, going into Indianapolis.
The exact same crash he's just had.
Back end just going to get loose, isn't it?
Oh,
and
well,
now there is the fast toe.
I've been there, and luckily he isn't too far away from the pit, so he could lose just about a minute or so.
He has got the fast repair, and it should be okay still for the championship. If he's gone. He's gone. He's not in the pit box anymore. Has he forgotten about the fast repair? No, he's back. Oh, dear me.
I just wonder if he remembered to untick the fast repair when he came in to do his first pit stop.
Well,
if he has.
He's going to have had to enable that, Alex, hasn't he, for it to work at all?
Yeah, well, it depends if you got any kind of rubbing or anything like that. I didn't see anything, so let's hope it hasn't, robbed him of it, because there was nothing wrong with the car.
I wonder
Sometimes
if he could
you
have
get
not
a bit of
brought
bit of damage, and
that.
it
Reckon he could have brought that back into the pits?
It's because he disappeared off the map.
Yeah, it was because he went off the map. It wasn't forced.
Oh, he went through the.
Yeah, because actually, I
road.
think he could have continued actually.
Map Call of Duty disappeared off the track.
I remember though, Adam, how difficult it was for you after you had that very same incident. How badly the car was broken, the suspension was broken.
I crashed again, didn't I, on the way back?
And you
to
crashed
the pits.
again on the way back just because it was such a difficult car. You had to try and get it back. There's no choice. But yeah, Dion Phillips in and out. Then in third. Well, he was in.
I'm just looking at the
think he
points.
might be in third.
89 points. Baker. Does he have the? Is it possible now that Foggy's at least got half race distance points?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, Baker
definitely possible because there's 130 points, I believe, available for the win.
So Baker, he's got to go up for this one then, and hasn't he? Let me just double second place. So 60 plus 60, obviously 120, and he may get some bonus points if he sets fastest lap or anything. So that can add to that. And if Foggy will continue,
no, but there's double points at the end.
Yes,
so it's half. So it's normal points 60. It'll be 60 plus 120.
But of course, Foggy was here at the halfway point. Was back at Foggy is back out. Plus he got points at halfway, so he would have got his 55 points.
But now as long
didn't
as
repair
he
the car
finishes,
either, guys. So it was a case of the first one. It took his fast repair. You've always got to untick that.
Yeah.
It can bite you.
But as long as he finishes the race, Alex should get. He only needs to finish 90-ish points behind Baker, and he should do that, I think. Just having a look at where he is now.
17th.
He's in 18th or 17th place. So, because we've lost. Lee Woodburn just pitted and had a very long stop.
So he's on course for 33 points at the moment to go with his 60 for being up at the front at the halfway point.
That'll be close. That'll be very close if Baker's on for 120.
Yeah, because that adds up to 110.
So Foggy needs to make some places with a car that looks like it might not be particularly quick. This World GT Championship is not over, ladies and gentlemen. This is not over at all.
Yeah, we've got 34 minutes to go. The top 7 are yet to pit, and they are made up of Rose, Baker, McFarlane, Harrod, Daleman, White, Smith. Everyone else has, and we'll wait and see if their strategies, some have taken tyre, some haven't. We'll see if they pay dividends in the remaining half an hour or so.
The Foggy, I'm just looking at his straight line speed. I'm pretty sure it's slightly down, 267 on his own. I do not know whether that's good or not. We haven't seen many cars on their own. What is Christian Rose is into the pits, boys, as well. From the lead, Baker takes the lead. 357.2 for Dave Baker. He's putting the hammer back down again. He knows now that with Foggy gone, he knows, Alex, this is the chance.
Yeah. Is there any rulings about how many laps down you must stay or anything like that for points?
Foggy,
I think it's 1 again, isn't it?
Foggy is still on the lead lap, so
yeah. But just with the damage of his car and it's quite long, it could easily be another incident happening. So, just trying to find. I can't see anything. I'm just scouting the rules right now very quickly. It doesn't look like Rose has made what I can only say now was a mistake on Foggy's part. It could have worked, but the car just was so loose through there. The first time he hit that, bit him hard.
Doesn't look like he's losing too much straight line speed. I just had a look back and saw what Ross McFarlane was doing down the Mulsanne. He was doing 270 kph. So not too much lost. It should stop him dropping further back.
How many kilometres was that difference, sorry?
270. I reckon there's about 5 or 10 that he's lost down the straight.
Still a lot though.
it's yeah. I mean, it puts him. It puts
Oh
him
yeah, it
probably
was a
down
lot for
at
us, wasn't it?
It puts him at BMW speed though. So Baker's doing 273, 274, and as well, that's notwithstanding that there might be some handling damage to it. We'll see. This time will be his first complete lap since the pit stop. Is it worth going on board, Alex, and just seeing if you can spot any issues with the handling?
Yeah. Just before we do, there's some pit stops. There's just some pit stops that are getting completed that are changing the order quite a bit. Maciek Sakovic has now leapfrogged everybody up to 5th place because he didn't take any tyres. Neither did Dion Phillips, but he's pretty much stayed where he was. Sakovic now to 5th place, ahead of Ross McFarlane and John Roberts. Has been into the pits only once for a 14-second stop. Surely he may have to come in again, but he's now up to 7th.
Yeah, Roberts got caught up in the crash with the Ferraris on the first lap. So, yeah, he had to come in for a fast repair. Roberts, so that's the only pit lane he's had. Foggy's lap did not count.
It is a handful and a half as we head into the first chicane there. The car's tracking, you can see it's pulling, I believe it's pulling to the right, he's having steered to the left or vice versa. But
yeah.
The car
he's all over the place.
The car is not good at all. So
looks like it could pit him out at any moment as he goes into Tetra Rouge.
It could be, could be a real issue.
He maybe needs to put that brake bias forward, Alex, just so that he doesn't have a repeat into Indianapolis.
Oh, he's going to need to do something, that's for sure.
He might need to start getting on it, start praying for something to happen to Dave Baker, because I mean Baker's still got a chance to win the race.
Yeah, Rose was 61 seconds in the pits and Phillips 33.
Yep.
So he's only 4.5 seconds behind now. So,
man, it is all to play. And Michael Hall's closing in on Nico Foggy, look.
Michael Hall.
Can we get a top speed comparison here, Alex, down the back part of the Mulsanne?
Certainly can.
This will be the key, Mercedes versus Mercedes.
Yeah, one of the things we can do with our TVO. 245 kilometres an hour then, 250 for Michael Hall. Foggy's been able to surpass that. They're both pretty even at the moment. Now the Ferrari should start to get the extra straight line speed here. Foggy is maxing out at 266. Michael Hall reaching 270 as they hit the brakes, and there is the small difference that the other Mercedes of Michael Hall's getting as they go through the second chicane.
Yeah, it's 4K, isn't it? It's not that bad.
I'd wager that the handling damage is causing him more issues than the straight line speed at the minute.
Dave Baker is in from the lead.
Baker in it, right? Now we'll see.
Yeah,
now, Alex, as we found out though, the damage to maybe the rear wing is maybe more severe to damage than damage to the front of the car in terms of speed, at least straight line speed.
See what Baker does. We'll just stick with him for a few more seconds, see if he goes after about 25 seconds.
Harry's in as well.
Will he know about Foggy? I'm assuming one of his teammates will have told him.
I feel, Adam, that I feel like I have to almost apologise to you because it feels like an hour and a half long reminder of you crashing that we're giving you, but it is completely. It's freaky how that crash was just the same, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, a good 9 months on, that crash that I did is a good benchmark.
Here comes Hall.
Hall through then into 15th.
The Foggy losing places when it needs to be gaining them.
That's Foggy back down. Yeah.
He can do.
As a result of other people pitting now, this has put Foggy now down to 16th place. Christian Rose is just coming across the start line. Baker is out of the pits. This is going to be very close. Dave Baker has maintained the lead.
No, he hasn't. Rose on the outside. Little breaks is the Ferrari.
There's new tyres for Baker as well, though, so we could be on for a bit of a showdown now that he's not got to worry too much about Foggy behind him, and he can just focus on drafting that Ferrari.
How many times? How many times did we see, Alex, in the 24-hour race in the summer? The car came out of the pits and just went straight on at the Dunlop S's.
Oh yeah, too easy to do there.
Whole tyres, no brakes, pretty bad. Now let's go on board with Baker. Let's see him closing in on the. If he can close in on the Ferrari down the Mulsanne. going to be difficult. He's already nearly lost the slipstream.
The gap is just 0.6 of a second as they go down the first part of the Mulsanne. John Robertson, by the way, for his actual visit to the pits, so that's him out of the top 10 for now anyway. Now on the brakes.
283 for Rose, 281 for Dave Baker.
You put that in comparison to Foggy, who's doing 265, 266.
Oh
that
dear.
Shows you the amount of time that he's going to lose as we head into the final 27 minutes.
Baker a bit closer now. That does make a difference to the draft he's getting. You can see he's physically winding up now, closing in.
What John Roberts' pit stop has done, it has given Nicole Foggy another position. He's up to 15th now.
But I wouldn't bet against Roberts catching that time back up the way that the Northern Lights racing car is struggling.
Keep you updated with that as this battle for the lead looks set to go all the way. Half a second now between Rose and Baker. Been a good outlap so far by the McLaren. You can see the fire that's coming out of the back as he goes up through the gears.
That fire that's coming out of the back of the McLaren might be matching the fire inside David Baker, because he's got a championship that he thinks he can take here. It's very late on the brakes, Baker. It doesn't look like he could make it there, did he? But this time we've got the McLaren stopped in P412C. And now he's well and truly in the wake of the Ferrari. We can see Alex him closing in down this back straight.
Yeah, look at the run he's got. Will he lift?
Can he get the lead into Indianapolis? He's not going to try, I think.
Yeah, he's just had a little lift, didn't he?
Stupid attempt, I think. Maybe setting him up. Arnaz is coming up as well, but he's too far back to make a move here. Rose is driving a beautiful race, he really is. Hitting all the marks. Seems to be in tune with the Ferrari. And like we said, Adam, that car is such a good one to drive when you are in rhythm.
Really
we took it to Suzuka the following week and did extremely well in it.
Of course, he'll have that TV screen in the car where he can see Baker marauding around behind him going into the Porsche curves. Plus, he's got those excellent LEDs on the steering wheel that tell you if the brakes are locking up at any point. Really helps us in our preparations for the race.
And if one thing is similar actually between Suzuka and Le Mans, it is this section, the Porsche curves. It's just like driving the S's in Japan, Alex, and
the setup was a dream there.
A lot of the setup translated over nicely.
Sorry, it was just checking the Facebook feed. Do apologise.
No, I was just saying that similar setup to Suzuka almost does work around here for the Porsche curves especially.
Yeah, exactly. Very, just the high down. That's the one area you really need the high downforce. But if you can get the car to turn mechanically, like you can through the S's and things like that at Suzuka, it'll work. It'll work well. You need the car to obviously rotate off the corner rather than understeer. That's the key thing.
Two great drivers here in the CQR stable. Adam going to battle for the race victory.
Great, isn't it? Here as they go down the hill. One of the old battles of the late 90s here.
Driving for the Race Hood team, of course.
Foggy on the back of White, or has White just gone through?
I think that's White just going through. Yeah, Foggy was 4 seconds ahead at the start of this lap. That's how much time he's lost to David White in the Audi. He's been caught 4 seconds, passed, and then gapped by almost another second, Adam.
And
he could be in real threat for people all the way down to about 20th, I think.
Yeah, the gap between him and 20th place is 40 seconds. John Roberts was quicker than him on the last lap as well. We'll wait and see when they come over the line in a moment.
It'll be the likes of Josh Rayfield and maybe Scott Malcolm that might be the issue. We'll see though. Foggy comes across. What's his gap to the leader? 2 minutes 20. Oh, 1 minute 19. Oh, he'll be. Of course, because Baker pitted, it needs to update the scoring for everybody, doesn't it? So,
yep.
Yeah, Roberts is just about to come across the line. Roberts has just come across the line and has done a that was his outlap. So, yeah, we'll wait till the next one's completed, then we'll be able to give you a representation.
He's not actually done anything, has he, John Roberts? But he's up 8 places, and you know what? He'll be so annoyed because he's good round here, Roberts.
Oh, sorry guys, I need to interrupt you. We've got Kaiser Styles and
Oh, yeah, that's very close.
Draycott having a good little battle here. That's
Just-
for P8.
Yeah, Ferrari
really-
sandwich on here with a Mercedes in the middle.
Just to be awkward, I think we might have to watch the front.
Again.
Baker is right there.
Oh, yeah, he is. Great run out of
He's
Mulsanne
right
by
there.
the McLaren.
He's going through David Baker. We see him take the lead for the first time since the pit stops.
Plenty of space being given here. They're using both lanes of this single carriageway road.
Public road, don't try that at home, ladies and gentlemen, but flying down the back straight. And the Ferrari just at the top end. The top end speed saves Christian Rose, Alex.
Yeah, straight on drag race. Very unusual, isn't it? See that Maka outperformed, but there it was.
Again, the Ferrari, it takes a little while to get to that top speed, but it has the highest top speed in the field.
Yeah, and I think that's really going to show Baker what he's going to need to do. He's going to need to sort of be in a position where he can get a run from a bit further back, just so he can get it right towards the end of these long straights. Once again, here he comes. We can see on his Rose's onboard dash.
Oh, I wonder if the main straight could be a good opportunity out on the pit straight, because it'll just give him enough time to use the power of that McLaren and without allowing the Ferrari to really get up to top whack.
It's all going to depend about the run on the exit. Baker
Oh,
goes
might
very
have a
wide there.
slowdown there. Could be a slowdown.
What might save him is that he did have wheels on the curbs, but I think he might just have gotten away with it. But that was so close to a slowdown as we go into the chicane.
Man, I wish we'd have got away with some more slowdowns.
Oh, it was okay by the
that?
end. It was okay by the end of the race. The slowdowns served themselves.
Oh yeah, that was that was brilliant. Just took the absolute piss with that.
Yeah. Well, we had to really, because everyone else was taking the piss with us.
Yeah.
Alex, for those who don't know, Alex took the graveyard shift at about 3 a.m. after handing over from me, and some idiot, I don't even know who it was, tried to. A good job we're not naming names. Tried to bump draft him down the. Might as well have been Vadim Kogai. Tried to bump draft him down the back straight and promptly put you into the wall. So. Yeah, we haven't got any of that out here today anyway, at least not yet. We've still got about, what's got an official time check? 20 minutes, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
just a bit of an update on the point situation as well. Unless he crashes out, Foggy's got it, so he's got to stay on the back stuff, basically.
He's just got enough points, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Even if Baker wins.
Even if Baker wins.
But if it depends if Foggy loses any more places, really, doesn't it? More than anything, I think if he takes, I don't know. I still think if he drops down too far, he'll be struggling a bit.
Oh, into the teens.
If
now.
Adam's calculations, because calculations you gave us, gave him about.
I'm just doing it on
about 90 points, Baker. So it would have been close, because he would have had to make up about 90 points.
I don't know. There's a drop score. That's what I'm. That's what I'm factoring in.
It was 89 before the meeting. Halfway, Foggy was ahead of Baker. Is that right?
Yeah, but
what they're saying is basically there's just not enough cars on the grid to do it. I think if we had more cars, he would have not got. Because he's still going to get points now as well. You're still going to get double of 33 in his current position. So that's the issue that Baker has really.
Oh, of course, double of 33.
Baker looking again.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't taking that into account. Sorry, that was my fault. You're doubling the points, of course, at the top of the field, but not so much at the bottom. Yeah, you are. So yeah, so really it's only 60 points or so, isn't it? That Baker's going to gain at the most, I think here.
There is a drop round in the first 8 races of the season. Here comes Baker again. It's a replica of the last lap.
This time he is a bit closer.
But I just don't think not close enough.
No. You're right, Ferrari ahead again.
A final third.
You do not want to be lunging into the right-hand kink. All manner of things can go wrong there. Then it would be championship over for Baker. Foggy, he's driving the best race that he possibly can. Under the circumstances.
even with the damage, he was quicker than Roberts on that last lap. 4:03 for Foggy, 4:02 for the boosted cut.
Oh, so Roberts was quicker then.
Yeah. Where's
Oh.
where? Who taught you how to read time?
What was I reading? Oh dear.
Aren't you at university?
Although they'll let anyone in these days.
Yeah.
Studying a
Don't
degree
go
in the
there.
That's Manchester for you.
Manchester United lost to Manchester City, winning 3-2.
I wrote a match report, ladies and gentlemen.
He did. I've got to say, for those who don't know, Adam did write the latest match report for the Manchester United website. So
I did get the score right.
Oh, he did Delman round the outside of
Yeah, what a
through
move.
the king. Great move.
He did manage to actually get the score right. That's true. I was watching the game, so I can't confirm that was the correct score.
Oh dear. Well, while I get myself my bearings back, I think I did get a B in GCSE maths somehow.
Oh well, so did I. So I don't know what goes on sometimes. Yeah, I got a B. I did my maths a year early. Got a B, and then in year 11, I just forgot how to count.
That's
Ridiculous.
That's almost as embarrassing
worse.
as when the fire alarm went off at this very track last year.
I've got to say, Alex, I don't know what it is about strange happenings in the background of broadcast, but they seem to happen at Circuit de la Sarre.
Yeah, always.
Hashtag do you mind?
Yeah, we'll give him that one, I think.
Yeah.
Got to give him one, haven't we? I think, yeah. Good on you, Jake. Rose and Baker still fighting over the win, and I believe, and there are high ranking points. We've got to make that clear as well. We do get high ranking points for these races and for the championship.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we forgot about that. So there's more online than just the points, isn't there?
There's indeed.
Paul Smith still out there in his BM. Having a look at Dennis Melcher right now.
Got to say to you, Alex, as well, congratulations for moving up the Pro Series table over the weekend.
Yeah, thank you. It's as I said to you the other day, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it.
Oh my! Just take it and move on. It's not your fault. Hey, it's not your fault if other people don't turn up, is it?
No, true.
Got to be in it to win it.
Exactly. And
what's McFarlane and Sakovic?
Oh yeah, this is the battle for 5th place. Sakovic, of course, is the biggest mover in the field. Trying to make that 25 positions gained as Dion Phillips and Pete Harrod are also battling.
Really late on the brakes for McFarlane into the Forza chicane. That was good work.
Oh, Harrod nearly tried it round the outside of Phillips in the Michelin chicane.
Oh, it's super close between the Ferrari and the McLaren. Where's Pete Harrod come from, I must say?
Yeah. He was lingering in that sort of pack, wasn't he? That was trying to hunt down the sort of the 4th, 5th, and 6th for a while.
But this is Phillips trying to take
Phillips,
Harrod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Phillips was 1.5 seconds quicker than Harrod on the previous lap. Ferrari goes through, and Harrod, they're fighting to keep hold of that Mercedes.
Harrod,
McLaren,
23.6 second pit stop. That's why 10 seconds gained in the pits. So. Yeah, Harrod did it all in the pits. Baker, 10th of a second, having another little look, but still can't do anything.
Oh,
Harrod, I thought he was going to go onto the hard shoulder there for a second.
Here he comes. Harrod on the outside, but the Ferrari has the straight line speed, and it also, more importantly, has the inside line.
Oh, here we go.
Round the outside. That's very nice. Can he hold it?
Oh, he can.
That's given the space.
Outstanding from Pete Harrod.
There we go.
He's one of the best at car control in the series. We saw that at... almost.
He gets a little love tap for it as well.
We saw at Phillip Island how what car control Pete Harrod has.
Oh, what a drift that was. Oh, no, 360-degree spin, that was what it was.
Straight in and hits the apex of the corner.
If you want to play devil's advocate, you sort of say, well, he went out of control in the first place, but I guess a fantastic save. He did it. And he spins through 720 degrees. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Melcher and Paul Smith battling. Smith has just taken the Ford, Adam, but
Paul's coming back.
The American muscle is going to outpower the Bavarian machine.
Outpunch, or it's a sucker punch here at the moment. Look at Paul there going into Indianapolis. Let's have a look at the lap times. Melcher 4:02.9, 4:02.6 by Smith, which was quicker, yes, quicker than Dennis Melcher. And yeah, great battle between these two here is the slightly taller BMW is taking on the small but fierce Ford.
Yeah, these two have been having a like Alex, and it's small but fierce.
I think that's the first time anyone's described me as fierce.
That's the first time anyone's.
I'm far from it.
I think that's the first time anyone's ever quoted Shakespeare on the Apex Racing TV broadcast. That's it.
There you go. That's, oh dear.
Well, we've been waxing lyrical today about
downforce way far out now, and that's what Dennis Melcher's wondering. And Paul Smith having a look, but just again, he just doesn't have the pull, Alex, do they?
No.
There's Paul.
The mid-range.
Poor Paul. Poor Paul doesn't have the pull.
Poor
so
Paul for Paul.
Into the final chicane. Oh. And this is a battle over 13th and 12th as they come across the line. 12 minutes to go as well.
Well, they started 19th
Simpson
and
Howard
20th.
again. Straight by. I think this is going to be Baker's problem. If he does finally get by Rose is just going to steam straight past.
That's the strategic element for Baker. He's got to pick where he's going to get by without that happening. Chaz Draycott, no! Chaz Draycott is in the gravel. That is in the Dunlop S's, yeah.
That is a long way off, isn't it?
And how did this happen?
I know it's happened to Draycott.
Oh, he lost it on entry. Now, was that might have been brake bias or
just lost the rear and then it flicked off to the right.
A big shame for him. Where has he rejoined? Oh, just where Paul Smith and Dennis Melcher fighting.
Of course. And now they're going to get the slipstream, but it's the Ford that gets the slipstream and not the BMW. The BMW is the one that needs it.
Paul's having some of this, and the Ford is having some as well. He's trying to get to the inside.
If any of these three men, even though Chaz did qualify 6th and effectively start 5th, I still think a top 10 will be a good success on the final outing for Limit Score.
Battle for the lead, and this time Baker may have a chance. No, he hasn't.
Well, he's closer. But he's just, it's that second half of the straight, isn't it? That just
got to stay in there for a little bit longer.
I don't know, because he's going to hit him if he stays there any longer. That's the problem. If he pulls out the slipstream, he keeps the momentum, but then loses the top speed. If he stays in the slipstream, he might get a bit more top speed, but he loses the momentum, so he can't get by anyway.
Just getting a question asked as well, and that's what's the track temp out there at the minute, guys? I can't see that.
The track temperature is 33 degrees Celsius. That is the track temperature.
Sorry, Baker getting so close. I wasn't that excited about the track temperature, don't worry.
Oh, that is hot. 22 degrees. 22 degrees Celsius is the air temperature.
It was like I went on the internet and I found this, wasn't it? Oh dear.
I'm sure if we were still getting it edited for TV, I'm sure Lee would have edited that one bit out. There we go.
Well, he'd have probably found a way to put in, at some point. Yeah. Now, will that
9 minutes to go, so we've got about 3 laps, I reckon, to decide this one.
Who's going to be yelping in celebration between Christian Rose and David Baker, I wonder.
Oh, Draycott wide.
Smith
around the outside.
Smith needs to get this done, you would think, into our nose. He's very late on the brakes, but so's Draycott. Oh, he's too late on the brakes, he's gone off. And Smith gives him too much room.
Gives it too much welly on the exit, and that's going to allow the Ferrari an opportunity back in here.
See, Smith, he thought Draycott was going to come back on, and Smith left the space that he didn't need to leave, and thus he lost the slipstream.
Paul commentated on Chaz for many years in the Club Series on Apex Racing TV.
He's going to the Porsche curves. There's anywhere that the BMW might be able to squeak by, it might be the Porsche curves, but yeah, have we seen Smith make some moves into the Ford chicane, Alex? He's got a half a chance into that.
Yeah, that's it. I just need to get the run. This is where he's really strong, actually, the BM. So some surprise moves in there.
Of course, that's the worst Porsche curves he might have ever done. As we were bigging him up for that, being an overtaking place into here.
All of a sudden, the gap at the front, 1.2
1.1,
seconds.
yeah.
What's going on there?
Has there been a slowdown maybe for David Baker? Has Rose pulled out the first sector of his life? Well, we're on lap 21 here as well. We haven't really mentioned laps much today, but lap 21 of the race. 1 hour and 23 minutes gone, just about.
Genuinely looks like it was the first sector of Christian Rose's life, really. Yeah, that's how the gap's been pulled out. No slowdowns for Dave Baker, but yeah, 21 laps here.
John Roberts has caught Nico Foggy, by the way. 3.5 seconds a lap. At this point, as was mentioned before, Foggy just is, well, he's got, not just, he's going to get the title easily here. And that was the pure, not luck, because it's definitely not luck at all, but it's the good fortune that he crashed when he did, Alex, and he didn't crash quarter of an hour early.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he'd have been alright as long as he finished. Yeah, but you are right. I mean, because his points would have been way down, but that was just a decision he took not to take tyres. I mean, he would have been way out in front right now had he managed to survive that one lap, you know. So it was just a little moment that he had there that he caught and collected up, you know, and so he knew to take it a bit easier. He would have probably still been out front right now.
John Roberts won't get many chances to overtake Nico Foggy in this series, you wouldn't have thought, Adam.
No, you can.
So it's going to be a good up. But here he comes. Here comes the boosted car.
You can join a club that includes me, but in a different car. There's definitely, this definitely isn't the World Rallycross Championship here, as Roberts, there you go, down the Mulsanne. The more healthy Mercedes is through.
I don't think Foggy's gonna have to worry about Kiba. Kiba too far behind and only closing in at about 3 seconds a lap, so 16 seconds. So
must admit, I would have, right now. I would have loved to have a go at this series, but the admins have done a very sensible thing of keeping the entry list fairly strict for this one.
Oh, yeah, they know how bad we are. Yeah.
Well, it's probably something to do with how bad we are as well.
Melcher and Draycott still battling it out. Smith still there.
Interestingly,
carry on going on, I'm sure.
Interestingly, looking at the grid and where people are in the race now, Rose first on the grid, first in the race. Baker second on the grid, second in the race. Nico Foggy started third down to 16th. Jake Blackall started fourth, he's out. Stuart McFadden didn't take the start. Chaz Draycott from 6th down to 12th. Chris Wood started 7th, he's 7th. Jeroen Kaiser started 8th, he's 9th. Ross McFarlane started 9th, he is 5th. Dion Phillips started 10th, he's 3rd. I don't know what has happened.
Melcher had a little look at the inside of Draycott there going into Indianapolis, and a thought for a second that the Ferrari was going to close the door. And this allowed Paul Smith into the equation.
Yeah, Smith is going to try and go around the outside. Decent run off there, hasn't he? Very decent run.
That's a drag race between the BMW and the Ford.
And you know what? It's pretty even. Pretty even at the minute.
It really is. Melcher lunges in.
Bit taking the momentum around the outside. There is some grip here.
Oh,
I just couldn't quite muster enough. Might have just been the fact, Alex, he didn't seem to have the torque on the outside too. Oh, Melcher hits the curb hard.
Yeah, car settles down relatively quickly.
Oh, he's going to hit him. He's hit him. And just about, they're okay, these two.
What they have done is just let Draycott get away. He's already clear of the slipstream, so down the Mulsanne you have to feel like he's going to break that even more.
Kaz has got half a chance of getting into the top 10, I think. And he got a... Well, no, he hasn't really, has he? Well, he's 5 seconds behind Dowman. He's actually lapping slower.
Bart took tyres as well. Kaiser's the only one who didn't, so you have to feel like Daleman's going to catch up to him. He's running about 7/10 faster.
Kaiser's still lapping under 4 minutes, though, which is pretty good to say. He's on second-hand tyres in the Mercedes, which, like I say, hasn't been the strongest one out there today. Proved, hasn't it, that the Mercedes is the best all-round car, but can't quite get it done on the power tracks.
Oh, Harrod, he must be very close. He is indeed.
Yeah, this is the penultimate lap of the race, but not too many more chances here. Dennis Melcher, I think, has crashed.
Oh.
Oh, no, he's back again.
But yeah, he's around. Oh, and Hall just got a load of him as well. That'll give him a slowdown, but I think Hall's okay.
I'm just
no
looking,
damage to Melcher. It looks like
looking
just a
quickly
spin.
at when we're looking at the battle for 3rd and 4th, gentlemen, as well. But bear in mind, Dion Phillips in round 27 of a 27 race season, going for his first podium.
Nice.
He would be loving to get that. Absolutely ecstatic if he can make it into the top 3.
What did I say earlier on? If the leaders get together or something happens, he could nick a podium, you know?
Something did indeed happen. Nick or Foggy, if we want to be very, very pedantic here, then I would say this is his worst race 1 performance of the season. But it's actually, you know, he's actually only finished. He's actually only had 3 races. Perhaps 4 races out of 27. He's finished lower than where he is now, currently sat in 17th place. John Roberts did get through, by the way, up into 16th for the boosted car. Not a horrible result, Adam. He's almost in the top half of the table, considering that he was in the wall.
Or around, at least.
Who?
Paul Smith.
He's having to 3-point turn it to get it back pointing forward.
How has he done that?
And they're side by side for 3rd position.
Oh, he's hit the curb on the exit of the Michelin chicane. Oh dear.
And just as in the battle between Baker and Rose, the long straight saves Dion Phillips.
And just to point out what happened to him. Oh, he got caught on the curb, did Smith. I can do that if you trying to run that. Oh, he's in the worst place possible.
Where is he now? How is he dropped down?
He's all the way down to 15th now.
So just two positions lost. But as with his earlier mistakes, so much time lost.
Onto the final lap of the race, and there is traffic in front of Christian Rose. This could help him. It is the Limit Squad car, Tom Jacobs, starting his final lap for the team.
And
starting his final lap for the team, yeah.
Yeah, and also, well, the team's last lap, at least in that respect. Josh Rayfield, I think, is leaving the team at the end of the season. Rose and Baker, Phillips and Harrod, it's identical battles really on the last lap, isn't it? As the Ferrari gets out of the way. Probably a little too gentlemanly, actually. Lost a lot of time there, but here we go.
Good touch of rouge there by Baker. He's already starting to gain on the Ferrari as we build up the speed.
Clear speed. Let's see what the top speed can get to on the first part of the Mulsanne. 274, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 280 for Baker. 282, 283, 284, 285.
Now, Baker has this season been renowned for pulling a rabbit out of the hat right at the death.
He nearly hit the back of the Ferrari. Rose has driven a brilliant race, Adam, and very nearly a problem there.
Paul Smith spun again, by the way, this time on the Porsche curves.
That what you were laughing at?
Roberts through. No, I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at how close Baker was, and he's going again here.
This is his best opportunity.
Yeah,
he's got
Too friendly there, isn't he? But this got to nail it.
I don't think he was especially early on the brakes, though, Alex. I think he just Rose absolutely nailed it. CQR stablemates, of course, and there's one thing CQR drivers are good at: his late manoeuvres on the brakes. I wonder if he'll ever go into Mulsanne corner, Adam.
There we go, building up the speed again, over the top of the hill, little look to the inside. It will have to be a last gasp manoeuvre here for Baker. He wants to get that one done, and no, he decides against it, but this is where we've been seeing the McLaren get alongside. They both light up the rears on the exit. This is his only opportunity, reckon, to pull alongside. I
think, as Alex said, you need to be in the slipstream further. I think this is a perfect opportunity. Just gaining the momentum at the right time. Rose decides not to bother defending. Is he going to be proven right? We're going to find out ever so shortly, because Baker's got the short run. But he cannot be denied this time, Baker, I wonder. Almost right alongside him, he's going on the inside. And Rose desperately trying to hang on. Baker's trying the outside line. It's dirty there, there's not a lot of grip. But he has the inside for Arnage. It's 50 mile an hour right-hander.
Brilliant.
And he's done it. But now the Ferrari has the advantage.
For the first time today, we're actually going to see the Ferrari in the slipstream of the McLaren of Baker.
Yeah, here we go then. It's not going to be quite now that it happens, but here's where the speed differential kicks in for Christian Rose. How close can he get? Can he dive up the inside into the Porsche curves? It's going to take the outside line where the grip of the racing line is. It's going to happen. Is the white flag out, Adam?
Yes, it is. This is the final lap.
Here we go then. Through the Porsche curves. And then it'll be just the Ford curve and record meant to go, and Rose is sideways. Rose nearly loses the car, but he has lost
definitely lost it
and he
now.
might lose more than that as he spins. He spins in the final lap.
Jacobs has to take avoiding action.
And David Baker's coming through the Ford chicane. Just the final chicane to go. And the final endurance race, the final round of the World GT Championship goes to McLaren. It goes to David Baker.
What a finish.
And Rose, he went on the final lap, didn't he? Giving everything, Christian Rose. But he does finish second, and he's driven a great race.
Some of these tyres look absolutely shredded. Pete Harrod looks like he's had a crash on this final lap of the race. The car is crabbing appallingly.
Oh yeah, it must have been in the Porsche curves, Adam. Must have been. Phillips, he's got a bit of damage on his car. I wonder if they've come together on the final lap. But Phillips is over the line to get third. Dion Phillips, first podium finish of the season in the World GT Championship. Pete Harrod limping the McLaren home in the end.
Right then, Harrod versus Bart Daleman now. This is for...
It's not Harrod.
For 9th.
It's definitely not Harrod, Adam.
Oh, Daleman versus Kaiser, I should say. For 9th and 10th. Oh!
Yeah.
Kaiser nearly goes for the tyre barrier.
Daleman looked like he had an awful couple of corners there. Kaiser's closing in. This is the tyres, Alex, isn't it, that you said? Oh, new tyres for... Oh no, it's old tyres for Kaiser. It's new tyres for Daleman. Kaiser's trying to get... Oh! And he just loses grip at the last corner. Oh man, he can smell that 10th place, but...
Paul and Melcher very close as well.
Ford versus Mercedes here, both yellow as well.
I wonder if Hall's going to have a go. His DNA as a CQR driver, isn't it? To have a go. Is he going to throw one? He's going into the record ment and he can't make it. Oh, Dennis Melcher there.
Slow down as well.
Just is ahead of Michael Hall, who does indeed pick up a slowdown. David White comes across in 14th place. What an exciting final lap, Alex, we've had.
Where's the champion? He can't be far away. Here he comes. It's not the race he wanted to win it on, but still a great series for him.
Class of the field and undeniably a deserving winner. Not the best race for him. The Mercedes doesn't look in great shape coming across the line, but Nicole Foggy is the world champion. Fantastic work all season long from Northern Lights Racing in the Mercedes, Adam, and Nicole Foggy, well, he's been absolutely fantastic. And now, like I say, a world champion. Season 2.
It's been a fantastic few months for him, fantastic year or so for Nicole Foggy, and he's finally got a championship to get his hands on, and he has done a fantastic season, won a few races as well. May not have had the best day today, but he has won it over the course of the season, and he takes the World GT Championship.
It was that half race, Alex, wasn't it? The first half, first 45, 50 minutes that really cemented it. He got those halfway points, which just meant that really no matter what happened, as long as he didn't retire from the race, he was always going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so phenomenal first stint, and a farewell goodbye to Limit Squad as Josh Rayfield comes across the line.
He gives it the beans over the line. Well done to Rayfield, 21st. That's where he started, that's where he finishes. And Limit Squad is no more. They will have a new team coming into next season. We look forward to seeing that. But it's about the race winner, David Baker, Christian Rose, second position, drove a fantastic race. They're going round together at the end. Two Race Hub drivers. Of course, we've got to thank Race Hub massively for sponsoring the series. What a great sponsor they are, and hopefully they will continue for the rest of 2018 as well. And got to give it up to Dion Phillips, Adam, finishing third. His best result actually before that was only a 6th place in race 1 at Bathurst. So
shows you what Le Mans can throw up. Plus,
yeah.
he was able to stay in there with a pretty good strategy and was able to topple Pete Harrod. I don't know what happened between those two on the final lap. That may be worth having a little look back at. But
yeah, did we get that, Alex, at all? Have you seen it? I would imagine they've crashed in the Porsche curves, to be honest, just judging by the fact that Phillips has got some damage on one side and Harrod was absolutely destroyed. Here we go. It is. Yes. You'll find it going into the. You'll find it all the way. If you can get it all the way from sort of Arnage going forward and just take us through it, then I think you'll find some interesting stuff out there.
I'm just looking myself.
Yeah.
Well, that was a squeeze. That's the noise of a squeeze there, going right there. And yeah, just going into the Porsche curve, there's that safer barrier on the left-hander, and Phillips comes off the least, comes off the most, the most unscathed.
Oh, can you? Did you actually? Can you find it, Alex? Do you think?
Yeah, we're just about to watch it now.
Take us through it.
So yeah, just heading in on the straight towards the Porsche curves then. And actually Harrod tagged the wall, but got a great exit still.
Oh, they touch as well down the straight.
Oh, they did. Oh, they're so close. There's the contact. And then there's enough room given through the first part of the Porsche curves. And then, and then they just come together. That was, I have to say, that was nothing more than a racing incident. Unfortunate, both drivers trying to squeeze there. So
because the thing was that Phillips had a good.
Yeah.
Phillips was in front. He has a full car length in front, and then Pete has a better run. Tries to go around the outside. I think Phillips kind of realises he's in trouble, but he can't really do anything about it because of the understeer, and just seems to. It's a tough one, isn't it? But it's racing on the last lap, isn't it? At the end of the day,
good racing. But
that's great racing.
Adam, you better take us through the results, yeah.
Oh, for the final time this season, then Dave Baker takes the win. I believe his second win of the season. I stand corrected on that, but Dave Baker takes the win. Second for Christian Rose, third for Dion Phillips, fourth for Pete Harrod, then Ross McFarlane finishing in 5th place. 30th place on the grid to 6th for Maciek Sakovic. Great drive there from him. Chris Wood started 7th, finished 7th. The only Audi in the field, as far as I'm aware, did a pretty good job there as well. Jack Stiles in 8th, Johan Kaiser in 9th, and 10th for Chaz Draycott, bowing out the Limit Squad team there with a top 10 result. 11th for Dennis Melcher in the Ford, just pipping Michael Hall, who came up at a fair rate of knots there at the end. And 13th for David White, Bart Daleman in 14th, who started there as well. John Roberts in 15th, then Nicole Foggy, the champion, finishing in 16th place after starting 3rd on the grid. It was that crash going into Indianapolis that cost him a chance of winning the final race of the season. Paul Smith finishing in 17th in the BMW. That's no mean feat, considering the disadvantage in a straight line that the BMW has. You'd probably be suited more to Sebring, where the Ritmatech Sports Car Series is going later on tonight. Matt Keeber in 18th, 19th for Lee Woodburn, and 20th place for Kieran Roche. Josh Rayfield finishing in 21st, another driver that started where they finished. And then 22nd place, a lap down, is Tom Jacobs. Scott Malcolm also finishing a lap down as well. And then Jake Blackhall, 16 laps down, finishing in 24th place. Ashley Blakehood also out after spinning in the final corner. Stephen Dawson, 26th. Robert Lundgren, 27th. Josh Thompson crashed at Mulsanne and failed to finish. Then Dave Crozier, Pete Newman, and then the cars that didn't start the race. Jim McFadden put in an excellent qualifying lap, but wasn't able to take advantage of it because of a disconnect. Then Andy Shield didn't start the race, neither did Matt Bunn, and neither did Gavin Wakefield. I suspect a few of those helping out with the admin side of the evening. But what a final way to finish it off. And after we started out at Spa with the sprint races there in an untested format for a GT race, I think we've had a pretty good season here in the Race Up World GT Championship.
I've absolutely loved it, and I'm sure that Alex has as well. think another man who's had a bit of fun this season is Paul Smith. And Paul, tonight looked like it was quite eventful, and the BMW for one was giving you some issues, but then unfortunately you made a couple of your own issues along the way.
Yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed that, but yeah, twice I clipped curbs and the car bottomed out. The back end bottomed out, which is unusual really for the back to bottom out. But yeah, just kicked the car around at the Ford chicane near the start of the race, which ruined my race really, because I was going well there in the slipstream. I was using that slipstream to my advantage to try and save some fuel. Came into the pits, didn't take tyres, which I know a few did, because I knew that the BMW would look after its tyres a bit more than others. So did that, gained some positions back that way, had a great battle with Chaz and Dennis. That was a lot of fun to be fighting those two. It was a bit close for comfort really, but I just don't have that top end speed in the BMW. And then coming out of that second chicane on the Mulsanne straight, got a little bit greedy on the curb once again. Back end bottomed out, around I went, and this time I went into the wall. So not the best of ends to the race there, having to fight a damaged car. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll be back next season, and I may even have a teammate next season.
Ooh. Ooh. I think the
I can rule myself out straight away.
Although Polly does like the BMW, so you've got the added bonus of having back there. Yeah, I think as well it'd be nice. We were talking on air about if they can just tweak the BOP a slight bit to just make the BMW kind of somewhere in between what it is now and where the Ferrari is. I think it'd be pretty competitive and fairly near the front, I think.
I mean, when you consider the top speed that I ever got in the BMW in this race was 283 kilometers an hour in the slipstream, and compare that to what 291 that one of the Ferraris was getting. So it's a bit of a difference, is that? But the thing is, last week at the Nürburgring, this car was on rails because it suits that type of track with the aerodynamics that it's got. Short straights, twisty track, it suited it down to the ground. So, you know, every car has got its strengths and disadvantages. It's just unfortunately this BMW with the season that they picked, with the circuits.
The races you've done.
Yeah, the races that I've done generally favoured the cars that had the better straight line speed or power down medium to long straights. So yeah,
because you missed some of the ones that would have been. I mean, Snetterton would have been good for you. Phillip Island could have been okay as well. But yeah,
I came in at Watkins Glen, and I mean that was straight away. That was like, oh, well, thanks a lot, boys.
if there were ever some tracks at Watkins, Monza, Bathurst, Road America, where you need power, it's definitely those. Well, good to speak to you as usual, mate. Give a shout out to the sponsors, anybody you'd like to say hello to, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you next season, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Call to Rescue for the Motorsport Rescue Unit, who have just had a few new people pass their examinations, so they've got their rescue licenses for the next 3 years this weekend. So congratulations to them, including my brother Mark Smith. So thanks to them. Team Mad for letting me hang around in their generally loiter in their Discord channel whilst I'm doing my streams, and yeah, all my loyal stream viewers, all 3 or 4 of them. So thank you very much to them. I'll be streaming again next season, so but try not to take viewers away from you guys.
Fingers in many pies, haven't you? You got you sort of work for us. You work for Racespot. You sort of work for us. You drive for CQR. You sort of honorary member of Team Mad as well. So actually, it's very smart. It's very smart.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, and thanks a lot to you guys as well. It's always a fun broadcast for you lot. So yeah, and it's nice to hear Adam Bath for once. He's been missing. I've missed him.
Miss you too, Paul.
former Club Series commentary team.
Yeah,
reunion. So
we didn't miss him.
Well, you should have heard me earlier, Paul. I couldn't count earlier.
He's lost. Well, it's typical, isn't it? He went to work for Manchester United for a week, and then he lost the ability to count. So,
well,
I don't really
it's amazing. It's amazing what that added time happens with Man United. So anyway,
He did. He added some time on as well. Oh dear. Well, thanks, Paul. It's always great to talk to you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Cheers, mate. Always good to talk to Paul Smith, and we will now have the Adam will be with the man who's finished third in the championship, Ross McFarlane, who's had a fantastic season for Northern Lights Racing.
Yeah, Ross, third in the championship, a team's championship as well. It may not have been the best night for your teammate Nick or Foggy, but yeah, a top 5 result for you after starting 9th. I don't think you can complain really at that.
No, not really, not too much. Kind of the best I could have maybe hoped for, depending on the strategy, but I just wanted to get it to the end, so yeah, I'll take that.
What was it like racing around Le Mans? Obviously, the hour-and-a-half endurance race. What was it like from your perspective?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, you know, coming off the weekend, driving, I don't know, 7.5 hours of Daytona, it wasn't too bad. It was a light race, but at the same time, you know, you've really got to think hard about how you're going to approach it, and yeah, maybe could have done better, but it was still good fun.
When it came to the pit stops, were you one of the drivers that took fuel and tyres at that moment?
Yes, and I was originally planning not to take tyres, but having heard Nickel have an incident not taking tyres, I didn't want to risk it, and I fueled it to perfection. But yeah, I took tyres, and I could see I let a few guys away into the distance, and a couple have passed me, but I think at the end I just had enough pace with the new tyres to get back on maybe 1 or 2 positions, but yeah.
This season as a whole, best finish the second 3 times. Will next season be the aim to finally get that win?
Yeah, I think so. I've had a couple of chances. I had a really good chance at Phillip Island, but I didn't really have the pace just then, and I think I let Nickel go to try and take the win, and he ended up doing that, and we got a 1-2. But yeah, I just haven't had the extra little bit of pace to get that win. But yeah, next season there's going to be multiple wins, I'm sure of it.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout to anybody?
I just want to say thanks to the team. Cheers to Nickel. We've worked hard on this. We've done very well actually to get our. Did we win the team championship? I haven't actually seen the. I
think so. Well, you can blame me if I'm wrong. But
well, even if we come second, it's been fantastic because we have been a 2-man team since I think round 2 possibly. We had Alex Everett join us at the start, but he hasn't been able to race on Mondays. So 2-man team against the 3-man CQR teams. We've done really well. So big up to the team, and we'll come back fighting strong next season also.
Yeah, I've just checked. So 17. You won the championship by 32 points. The team standing. So yeah, job well done, and thanks for taking the time to speak to us. And yeah, happy Burns night in a few days' time as well. I've been recommending the haggis to Andrew Woodhouse.
Yes.
So yeah, enjoy that, and we'll hopefully chat to you in a few weeks' time.
Thanks. Bye.
Ross McFarlane there, and we also are joined by our champion, Nicole Foggy.
Hello.
Well done on the championship. I'm sure it was getting a tiny bit stressful after the crash at Indianapolis, but you just had enough in hand to bring it home for the title.
Oh, it was indeed. I did not realise there was a wee space at the end of that road, you know, that I fell down. That was awful. But yeah, I thought I'd lost it there. I didn't realise the endurance races get points taken at halfway. That's what saved me, I think. I'm only, I think, Baker's 17 points down from me.
Yeah, so that was how it finished.
Yeah. And I think team championship, we're CQR is 33 points behind or something, so it was really close at the end. Pretty intense, yeah.
Before the crash, it looked like things have been going pretty well. Christian Rose had escaped just a little bit up the road, but as we saw with Baker in the second half, you probably could have had a chance to get back up to him, and you also took no tyres at the pit stop as well.
Yeah, I think, did Baker take tyres? I think he did.
Yeah, they both took tyres. Yeah, Baker and Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like the tyres they weren't wearing down that much, but I had no idea what it was going to be like once I put fuel back in. I didn't even think about that. Maybe probably should have thought about it a bit more, but yeah, I hadn't really practiced properly with that setup. It was last minute changes, realizing the amount of speed that Christian had on the straights. So I put the wing down to, I think it was at -1 or -2 to -3. So yeah, that's probably nearly saved it, but not quite.
Well, we were saying earlier on, Nicole, fantastic, well done by the way. Adam had a very similar crash in the 24 hours, and at the same corner. And it's a difficult corner, especially late on in the stint when the tyres maybe aren't quite at their best.
You need the practice on the track as well to realise what the car can do there.
Yeah, you need to bid it a few times to realise, don't you?
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely, yeah.
Alex, have you got anything for the champ?
Oh, just to say congratulations! What a great season! Not only in this, but in all the other series that you've competed in. You know, we don't often get to hear from you, so yeah, been a bit of a breath of fresh air coming into all of the different broadcasts that we do, and yeah, showing what you're made of. Looking forward to seeing what 2018 brings for you.
Much.
Right, well, all that remains from us is just to say well done, and yeah, who do you want to thank? Who do you want to say hello to?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Northern Lights. It was basically them that got me into doing sort of more official kind of races. You know, I was just doing the kind of public lobbies on the Assetto Corsa and iRacing. I've only been doing these league official sort of leagues for about a year now. A lot of fun, so I want to thank them quite a lot for.
I think we're just losing you a tiny bit. I wonder if you could just speak up a little bit. I think it's just cutting out a bit on the volume.
Yeah, well, basically, just thanks to the team, Northern Lights Racing, for getting me involved in all these things. I've only been doing it for about a year, so yeah, I'm happy that because I just just mucked about a bit when I was racing before, but now they've kind of helped me get into the kind of more official sort of series. So many thanks to them.
Saying as well that the man who ran you close in the end, Dave Baker, is in the chat with us. Dave, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
And have you got anything to say to Nicole on the championship? Because you had a great fight all the way through.
Oh, just congratulations. You know, obviously had an incident in that race, but apart from that, the season was pretty much flawless. Didn't put a foot wrong, and is a worthy champion. And you know, nothing more to say than that.
Cheers, dude. Yeah, congrats to you as well. You did really well, and probably the most consistent driver I know. And you have a uncanny knack of avoiding most incidents that I end up involved in.
I try. It's the only way I'm going to do well in championships. I play the long game.
Alex, can you? Well, at least he's honest anyway, isn't he? Alex, can you sum up this battle for us?
I mean, to be fair, I think both drivers have been very, very consistent all season. Nicole really showing his performance in the first races of the night, really, where he clocked up a lot of points. Baker, as was mentioned, seems to avoid the accidents, and he's always there, isn't he, at the end of those championships? So, you know, keeps you on your toes, and I think that's why Nicole, I was thinking at the end, you know, oh, he's lost this, you know. That's what Baker does to you, because he's just always relentless with the points that he gets. So, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get to experience that firsthand when we hit March, when the BSRTC starts.
Yeah, if you haven't known, I think you might have a bit of an announcement.
Well, the announcement is on Racing for Apex next year. So,
nice.
There we go. Well, it remains to be seen whether you boys are in trouble come March. I'm not too sure what to think.
I don't think so.
As long as it's not like Le Mans last time, Alex, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure
that was a baptism of fire anyway.
Yeah, the opening rounds might be.
It was indeed. I think, yeah, congratulations anyway, gentlemen. Fantastic season. And, yeah, I'm sure we'll get some more of it in Season 3. Well done.
Fingers crossed. And hopefully see you guys covering it as well.
Well, I'm hoping so.
Good.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
And I think... Sorry, Alex, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's just do some quick fire ones now.
Yep. Take it away then, mate. You can grab the first one.
Yeah, Christian, welcome.
Hello.
Well, the race looked like it was going all your way. Pit stop, I'm just reading on the chat, you probably took a little bit too much fuel. How much did you have left at the end there?
I had enough for 4 lap. I miscalculated massively.
A good couple of seconds that would have done. That would have been you away from the draft again, and that's probably what you needed to break clear of Baker.
Yeah, after the pit stop, I just could not escape from him. He was just right there every single moment. I thought I'd get away, and then I'd make a tiny mistake, and he was right there again. It was just impossible to get away.
And that last lap battle, it looked like you guys were sort of shaping up for something going into Indianapolis a few times, and the performance of the Ferrari really helped you there, and you were able to sort of defend around the outside. But this time Baker just got that little bit run, and then you were side by side for a while. And I thought to be honest, you'd come straight back past him going into the Porsche curve, but yeah, it just won't happen. And then you got a little bit loose. Just sort of tell us what happened there.
Yeah, so absolutely gutted that he got past me. It was a fantastic battle, but I was so annoyed at myself that I let him by. But yeah, coming through the Porsche curves, I felt like I was going to be able to chance to get a run out to the final corners, and just got a bit too eager, trying to make the move happen, and yeah, lost control of the rear, and unfortunately looped it around. But I must say it was absolutely incredible race from Dave. I'm not sure what happened to Nicole, but again, that would have been a fantastic scrap towards the end.
Yeah, well, we certainly enjoyed it all the way. So just a bit unfortunate you had the little moment, because I feel like you might have poked your nose in somewhere right at the end. But yeah, it was a great battle, and yeah, commiserations really for leading all those laps and then not getting the most important one.
Yeah, I'm very gutted, to say the least. But if I wasn't to win, then yeah, Dave would be a very worthy winner in my eyes.
So obviously for the team, you were you sort of on your own for some of it, and then you had your teammates kicking around. You guys going to be back next season? Try and go for this team championship?
Definitely see the race hub car. Hopefully, I'd quite like to run the Ferrari again. I think I've found a sweet spot with that car. But yeah, we'll have a chat, see who wants to drive what, and yeah, we'll definitely be bringing the race hub team back. I also just want to quickly say huge thanks to Mark Russell of Race Hub. His support has been absolutely fantastic this year, and yeah, he's an awesome bloke.
Cool.
Yeah, well, he's always been in the chat watching the races, so he's definitely been there all season. Sorry, Alex.
No, that was it really. I was just about to say the same thing. So he's always there. So yeah, excellent. Thanks, Christian, and yeah, look forward to seeing you next season, mate.
Thanks very much. All the best. Thanks so much.
Cheers, Christian.
Venom
And now Adam has found Chaz Draco.
Yeah,
Hello,
Chaz. Hello. Yeah, hello from everybody. Final race of the season then, and a final race for the Limit Squad team as well. And an okay result, but it could have been better if it wasn't for just a few of the spins.
Yeah, I managed to, out of everything, the close battles I had with people, I undid it myself, but I only lost a few places, so I'm happy with 10th. Really, really happy with 10th. I mean, for the car to be on pace like that tonight, out of all nights, for how it's been all season, then yeah, I'm well chuffed to get 6th on the grid and still finish in the top 10 and race with people like Ross. I mean, I don't know if you caught any of that, but the amount of times me and Ross swap places down the straights was just unbelievable. It was great fun.
Best finish of 7th as well throughout the entire season. How would you rate the season as a whole in the Ferrari?
Oh, it was just amazing. It was up and down in terms of performance, but like I say, every driver has their track, and felt like I had a pace at I can't get my words out. Felt like I had pace at a few rounds, but like I say, I was happy to get into the top 20. That's what I was aiming for the season. I think I've ended up finishing 15th, so I'm absolutely over the moon with that. And tonight was a great way to say goodbye to Limit Squad, because we've been doing that for 3 years now, me and Tom. So moving on to pastures new for next season.
If you had to pick out one race meeting of the season that would be your highlight of the season, which one would it be?
I'd probably say this one or Bathurst. I think I'd say this one just because of the better result. But Bathurst had some great racing. I I went into that saying, "Oh, I'm not going to race this. I don't like this track. I don't like how it is." And then it was the most fun to drive out of all of them. It was amazing. But I'd say tonight was a great way to round up the championship. I don't know if you caught it, but me and Tom had a few little slow down moments, chilling in the cars and just saying a little goodbye as you would. But yeah, it's definitely tonight. It was brilliant.
Just a quick one, Adam, just to jump in. All right, Chaz, how are you doing, mate?
Very good, mate. You?
Good, yeah, not bad. Just to say, are you allowed to talk about next season properly yet in public, or is it just?
Where's the trailer?
Well, if you look at the Facebook group, I've actually put a little sort of teaser picture in it. The trailer comes out a week today.
Ah, perfect. I need some royalty-free music in that.
Yeah, I had it last time, but I think it's just because of the because of where I got it from. It wasn't the copyright-free version of it. So yeah, I was a bit annoyed. Because
Alex keeps wanting to play the trailer and going, well, it keeps.
I know, I'm really sorry. I didn't even realise. I think it's because I found a copyright-free song, but then where I got it from wasn't the origin, so it doesn't like it. But the trailer comes out on the 29th.
Oh, nice.
And funnily enough, the Thrust Vector announcement, which is the team me and Tom are running next season, actually gets announced on Wednesday this week.
Excellent. Well, I knew you'd dropped a few hints of that, but I wasn't sure whether you'd sort of announced it properly. So that's going to be yourself and is it Tom?
There's three drivers, but we're not announcing the third yet. It's me and Tom.
That's not Adam Bath, is it?
It's not Adam Bath, unfortunately. We wish it was. Adam's good, but we've already filled the seat.
There you go. Hey mate, it's been good to have you in the series. It's been good to have you back on iRacing, and it's onwards and upwards for next season. You seem to have a handle on the car now, and hopefully definitely. The results improve a little bit next time.
Yeah, thanks lads. Great to speak to you again. See you next time.
All right, well done.
Cheers, boys.
Okay, and got a few more to go. In fact, we might as well get them all at once. We've got Jeroen Kaiser, we've got Dennis Melcher, and we're also going to grab, in fact, let's just grab all the ones that we haven't spoken to tonight. There we go. I don't think the commentary channel's been this full for a while. Alex, who's your first victim on this one?
Let's start with Dennis.
Hello.
Hello there, sir. How was? Let's just start with how today was for you. And I'm just trying to find you to bring you up on the overlay. Where have you gone? There we are.
It was a hard time, as every time with the Ford. So I tried to make a quick setup half an hour before the qualifying. And yeah, the fuel calculations always is a mess because I'm in the Ford, and that's why I'm going to switch to another car next season, I guess, to make that a bit easier. But anyway, it was a very nice race today. I had very nice battles with Jess and Paul. Yeah, that was great today.
I mean, all season long, you've obviously just been the only one in that car, so it must have been pretty lonely out there.
Yeah, I mean, I did some very nice races there, and I think I finished 12 now at the end. Yeah, it's 12, so I was aiming for a top 20 or top 25 at the end. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So, but as I said earlier, it's very hard to hold this car on the track with all the weaknesses it got, and yeah. I think I will switch to the Beamer then next season with Paul Smith together.
Oh well, there we go. Now we know.
Oh, that cat's out of the bag then.
Yeah. Oh well, that should be interesting for sure. Anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, Dennis? Team Matt?
Yeah, Team Matt especially, and I just want to thank everybody again. Giving me the honor, to do the parade lap with my, with the loss of my dad. That was a great moment this season, and yeah, just want to say thanks to everybody making that possible and drove this lap with me. Yeah,
awesome stuff.
Well, it was a fantastic moment. So
yeah, it was.
And you know, you're not going to forget that one in a hurry. I don't think so.
No.
And obviously. Sorry, I keep putting into these interviews. It's really bad, isn't it? As And then to take the win at Monza as well, that must have been very good.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of the season. I mean, starting from second place, it's not too hard to finish the race in first, but it was a nice battle with Ash there, and yeah, I was pleased with that.
Right. Dennis, thank you very much as well for joining us in the commentary box this evening, and has been all season. If you stick around with us anyway, we want everybody to stick around a little bit towards the end. We're just going to really fire through these last few interviews. We've got Matt Bunn in the channel. Matt, you there? Oh, hello, mate. No racing for you tonight, but one of the league admins, of course, and a really, really successful season. Congratulations on that, and just give us 30 seconds on season 3 and what you're expecting for that.
Yeah, so we've been hard at work sorting out season 3. I think it's going to be just as good, if not better. Not too many changes. I think it's worked really well this season, so we're not going to make too many changes. Yeah, not really too sure what to say really. We're going to make all the official announcements shortly really. I need to just fine tune a couple of outstanding things with the other guys. But yeah, all to come later on this evening. Lots of announcements. But just on this season, yeah, just thank you guys. Thank Race Hub and Mark for supporting the championship. Yeah, Mark's kindly sort of supporting us again for next season. We might have an additional sponsor as well. Yeah, and thanks to all the drivers really, because the drivers have made it what it is. Got a really good bunch of guys, and yeah, we wanted a championship where we could all sort of come and just have fun, but competitively race at the same time. And I think the fun sometimes can get lost when it's about other things and not just sort of having good racing and good relationships with everyone. And I think, you know, credit to all the guys in the championship for sort of, you know, keeping that ethos really, and being so friendly with each other, sharing setups with each other, and just generally being really good guys to each other. Yeah, long may that continue, and yeah, I think it's going to, and I think season 3 is going to be really good.
Yeah, and it has been absolutely fantastic season. We've really enjoyed it, and yeah, Matt, I hope it carries on to season 3, and we'll see you back in the car.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the reason I weren't racing tonight, me and the wife are expecting our second child.
Oh wow! Brilliant.
Congrats.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
Unfortunately, the man cave has to go. Unfortunately, so.
No.
Yeah. So well, it was just
Commiserations.
Yeah.
Oh well, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it was bad timing because I had one of the Obato rigs which takes up quite a lot of room, and I put it up for sale, and it just so happened that yesterday a guy came around and bought it, so I got all my gear downstairs. I'm in the conservatory at the minute, and I set everything up, but the Fanatec pedals, I hit the brake pedal and the pedals were just moving like hell, and I just couldn't race. That would have just been dangerous for everyone on track. So hopefully I've got the new rig sorted. I'm just downsizing to sort of a desk and that, but I just need to sort something for the pedals really. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll be sorted and ready to go again. I'll be back hopefully with CQR.
Well, Adam, the pedals are moving about.
No, I know that. I know the pain there.
It does indeed. Matt, thank you very much, mate. Good to speak to you as always. Just stick around until the end, and then yeah, we do have an announcement as well. Your own Kaiser was one of the first men into the channel. Hello, mate.
Hi there.
How are we doing? It looked like you had a good race today, 9th place. That was pretty good round here in the car, which wasn't really well suited to the circuit.
Well, I was very happy with the car, to be fair. I qualified 7th or 8th, but that happened. The start wasn't optimal. I was in the wall before the start-finish line. So I had to drive around with damage for the first 12 laps to make it halfway. It was fun though, because it gives you the permission to go all flat out and to give it all. So that was fun, drifting it a bit through the Porsche curves, and yeah, could make up a lot of spaces with not taking tires. So that's fun.
Will we see you back next year?
Definitely.
Perfect. Well, that's just what we want to hear. And we've and of course, looking forward to the start of the BSRTC as well.
Personally, will not be racing in that. With Team Mad, I will have a close eye on it. Will definitely be involved with the points again, so we'll always have a close look on it.
Always good fun to even just to watch that one though as well. And hopefully it will be for season 3 as well. And Adam has found Josh Thompson.
Josh, hello.
Hello.
Well, it was nice of you to stick around to the end of the broadcast, considering that your race ended about halfway through. What happened?
I was done now. I just need to apologise to Dennis first for this, for the contact. I just lost it on the brakes, and with the -3 wing in the BMW, the back end's unpredictable. As I corrected it, it swung across the other way and it hit Dennis, so massive apologies for that. But
Yeah.
it did that, and it did the front left suspension. It was quite weird. So that was that. Then that was me out really. But I knew I was going to be really struggling here. No practice at all, obviously with Daytona and stuff like that. So nah, I'm looking forward to next season changing cars, to be honest.
What car have you got your eye on then after the BMW?
I think the McLaren.
Yeah, the McLaren was okay today.
I think the McLaren will be strong next season.
Is it a car that you've used before the McLaren or not?
Only a little bit, like Brad. I think like last year, a little bit of Apex and stuff like that. That was the last time I really used it, so it'd be nice. I gave it a little go a few days ago and it was quite nice. So.
Just looking at your record through the season, weren't able to take a win, but you were able to get on the podium twice. That was at Watkins Glen and Bathurst. So you have picked up one or two trophies along the way, but hopefully you'll be hoping for more next season. Have you got a full season lined up for you next year?
100%, yeah. I was lucky enough to. Obviously, I joined this league when it first started in the first season, but it didn't fit in when I was doing the AOR Championship with the Formula Renault at the time, because it was on a Friday. So obviously, I dropped out then. Then obviously, it got changed to Mondays. It was full up. But spoke to Matt and then the opening at Watkins. Lucky enough, I managed to get an entry, and since then, absolutely loved it.
Great. Well, before we let you go. Do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, I would like to say thanks to you guys for the great broadcast as always. Everyone, Matt, for the admins and stuff like that. Great series. Everyone who competed, and obviously Radicals for helping me try and sort the car out, especially in these sprint races.
And have you got Road Pro Series now to focus on for the rest of the week?
No, I'm not doing Road Pro Series anymore. I decided to pull that up last week after the Cranfield experience. It was just for a bit of a laugh, so. I think now for me, my set's going to be on the World Tour stuff, so Bathurst 12 Hour coming up after success at Daytona. And actually, I'm thinking I'm going to be focused on World GT and BSRTC.
There we go.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, Josh, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And, sadly, the race didn't amount to anything, but hopefully next season will. So we'll see you next season.
Cheers.
Alex is with Chris Wood now.
Yeah, hi Chris. Been waiting patiently. Thank you.
It's all right. Thank you.
Been an interesting season for you. Of course, the Audi, not one of the strongest cars this season. It would be fair to say, but you managed to get some good results out of it. And always featured strong.
Yeah, it's just really keeping it consistent. I mean, everyone's panicking about it being difficult to drive, which yes, it is. But I think if you just knuckle down with it, learn to drive the car a bit better. It is competitive. It's just keeping the consistency. That's the problem.
Yeah, you obviously picked up a win, I believe, this season. I'm trying to remember what round it was, but I'm sure you got
two
one.
wins.
Yeah. So, dragged it out, and I mean, how was this race for you?
It was won at Spa, Alex. Sorry, and it was won at Road America as well.
There we go. I do remember the Road America one. I mean, how was it for you today out there? I mean, where's the shortcomings here at Le Mans?
The shortcomings definitely down the straights. It's lacking big time. But going through Porsche curves and then the Indianapolis, it's really spot on. I could find the time there. But basically, it's my fault that Jerome got taken out at the start. I thought I gave him a bit more room, but it turns out I didn't and put him in the wall. So I am sorry, Jerome. Just to put that out there.
No response. There you go.
Oh, really cool.
Sorry. Yeah, it's all okay now, Chris. I put your car in the wall in Daytona 24, so we're even. I guess.
Touche. There we go. It all comes out now.
I crashed into you when it was more important. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
No, it was our car back then.
Oh dear.
So what's the plan for you for next season then, Chris? Change your car, or are you going to stick with the Audi? What's going on with teammates, things like that?
In regards to teams, I am switching teams. I am leaving Club 73 and I'm going to be going to Team Mad. So that makes things even more awkward with Jerome.
Hey, traitor!
But it depends what the team decides. I mean, I'd like to give the Audi another go, but we'll have to see what the whole team wants to do.
Sure thing. Okay, well, before you leave the team then, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to and thank and all those messages?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first lot is to yourselves, broadcasting every week. You know, it's been fantastic to watch. The second set will be Clinton, obviously taking me on at Club 73, and I've raced with them through the Kia series. So, you know, massive thank you for him for letting me participate with Club 73. And then Team Mad. Looking forward to next season. Hopefully some good success comes from it.
Awesome stuff. Thanks very much, mate. And I think we've got one more interview to do, Mr. Malcolm down there.
Yeah,
take it away, Adam.
Adam.
Hello, Scott.
Hello.
Yeah, saving the best till last, we'll say. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best race. You were one lap down in the end, finishing in 23rd. What happened? What happened there?
I think it was a Merc alongside me coming up to the Porsche course, and I just got a wee nudge on the front right, and I then went to go left, and the car went right into the wall. So I had to take my fast repair, and that was basically my race over. But I thought I had the. For once, I thought I had the pace to compete, because I was doing like 4-minute lap times, and listening to what you guys were saying in the stream, and like a lot of people were doing these kind of laps. I thought I could have been right up there for once.
Driving in the Ferrari today, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, how was it out there for the brief time you were on the lead lap? Yeah, what was it like out there?
It was alright. I thought I quite handled myself pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it next season or not. I don't know yet. Might change car, might not. So a lot of talking to be done. So you see what happens.
Got this, and of course, have you got a BSRTC effort once again this season?
Oh yeah, definitely doing that. Definitely.
Well, I think we're just about out of time, so before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, you guys for putting on an awesome podcast as always. Matt Bunn for starting us up and running it, and the rest of the admins, and everybody else for putting up with me as usual.
Well, like I've been saying to every Scotsman that's been in the commentary box tonight, I wish you a happy Burns night that's in a few days' time.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few weeks in another series, either it's this or in the BSR or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that is it, everybody.
Yeah, we just got
one last little bit. Yeah,
one last little bit. As a lot of the drivers are in the chat with us, we do have an award to make. Actually, we've been asked to choose a driver of the season. And we're very honoured to give it to Mr. Dennis Melcher. So that's who we've awarded that to. And Dennis will be receiving a trophy for that. So we think that because plugging away in that ancient Ford GT that's not really a GT3 in a GT3 competition, and with everything that's gone on and still managing to take a win, we think that and get top 12 in the championship, I think that's we're going to award it to. So Dennis, congratulations, mate.
Okay, thank you. I wouldn't expect that. Okay, thank you very much.
And
then it was worth it to drive with the Ford anyway.
You might
maybe I will stick with it next season. Then,
That'll be another trophy. we do, like I said, we've got Matt here still, and Matt, Dennis has been really a good example to all the other drivers this season, and you know, really epitomises what this series is all about, isn't it? Just giving it your best at all times.
Definitely, yeah, especially in that heap of
Junk.
Nah, Dennis done really well in the Ford. the Lone Ranger in the Ford.
Yep, and well, there you go. So that pretty much does end the season for us. All that remains to I'll speak English soon. All that remains for me to say is thank you very much to Race Hub for sponsoring the series. Thanks to all the admins, all the drivers for making it such a fantastic watch for us. Thank you to Adam, thank you to Alex for an absolutely fantastic season, and we will be back very shortly with season 3. So from all of us here at the Circuit de la Sarthe and for Apex Racing TV, it's good night from us. We have a new world champion, and it is Nicole Foggy. Good night.